Good evening, everyone. Hockey Night in Canada welcomes you to the second game of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm Dave Hodge, and game number one proved to be a long night, and it ended very suddenly. With me is the man who ended it, Mike Bossy, and as shocking as it was to us to watch a goal go in 2 seconds from the end of an overtime period, what was going through your mind as that puck was coming back?
I was just as surprised as everyone else to receive the puck from Harold Snips. You know, it was a mistake that anybody could have made, and, you know, I sort of felt bad for Harold after, but it was my job to take the puck and try to do the best I could with it.
Was it in your mind you had to shoot it immediately?
Well, I knew that time was running out. I didn't know exactly how much time was left, but, you know, I wanted to shoot it right away, mainly because I was skating towards a defenseman, and I knew if I got any closer, I just wanted to get it away right away and hit the net.
Mike, I'd like a comment from you on Tiger Williams. You're seeing a lot of him. Scored 3 goals, including the big one. What can you expect from him tonight?
Well, I don't think that his play will be any different towards me or towards anybody else. He's out there to win, and I respect his attitude.
Tiger Williams and the other Canucks have to worry about Mike Bossy's scoring. And now let's go to the Canucks dressing room where Dick Irvin, Bob Cole, and Mickey Redmond will give us what they feel would be a Vancouver perspective toward tonight's game.
We are in the visitors' dressing room here at the Nassau Coliseum, and the visiting team, the Vancouver Canucks, seem to draw most of the post-game comments after Game 1 Saturday. Mickey, Game 2 tonight.
Well, Dick, I think they played their bump and grind type of hockey and tight checking hockey as well as they could the other night. They'd love to be in the same position, I think, to win Game 2 here as they were in 1 outside of winning it in regulation time. So I think they'll have to continue playing exactly the same way here in Game 2.
All right, Bob Cole, the Canucks drawing most of the attention for the way they played the game. What about the Islanders tonight?
Islanders are a skating team. They cannot fall into the trap of playing defensive hockey with this Vancouver club. I'll tell you, they had trouble in the first game. There's lots more trouble down the road. They have to skate, shoot it in. I'm sure Arbor will tell them that.
Another aspect of tonight's game that's going to draw a lot of attention, the officiating after Game 1. Al Arbor and the Islanders upset because Wally Harris didn't call many penalties as they feel he should have called against the Canucks. Well, Ron Wicks is the man in the middle there tonight, and we will watch it when Stanley Cup 82 on CBC continues in just a moment.
Bob Cole with Mickey Redmond and Dick Irvin. You see the officials at center ice. Ron Wicks, born in Sudbury, makes his home now in Brampton, Ontario. John D'Amico from Toronto. Jerry Gauthier from Montreal. These are the officials. Richard Brodeur, the star for the Vancouver Canucks in this 1982 playoff season. And the Canucks look to Brodeur to do wonders again tonight. Quoted as saying, if they're going to run at me, they better be very, very careful. This is Billy Smith, the clutch man of hockey for the New York Islanders. So far, it's been working for New York, even though it took overtime in 1958 at that for Bossy to pull it out in Game 1. Game 2 is underway. Gillies with Trottier and Bossy starting for New York. On the defense, Potvin and Morrill. It's Bolderev, Fraser, Smale for Vancouver. Now they change very quickly, and Gradine skates at center ice, looks for the lead pass, went through his skates down the ice. And Potvin picking it up, icing is called against Vancouver.
Looking at the lineup tonight, no changes for Denny Potvin and the New York Islanders. They have exactly the same lineup. For the Canucks, a couple of changes, however. A late one, Jim Nill has come down with the flu, although he did take the pregame warm-up. So Roger Nielsen has Blair McDonald in the lineup in place of Nill, and a change that was announced earlier on. Gary Lupel is playing tonight. Per-Olav Brassard is not. For Lupel, his first start since he was injured in the Los Angeles-Vancouver series.
Nick, I was going to say, Mickey, they're talking about hitting a lot in this game tonight.
This is in the Vancouver dressing room right now. Look at that telegram. 2,000 names or more.
Langevin at center for New York. Dropped it back. That's Persson to Langevin. Coming in. Eric missed the pass. In back of the net, Brodeur kicked it around on the boards and centered. Tonelli had it jump over his stick. And it's cleared out by Vancouver. Vancouver into the center ice area. Longevin again. Got away from Smeal. Tonelli's pass to Nystrom. Nystrom tried to work it in, and he was stopped at the line. Steps Hallward on the defense. For Vancouver, they're changing again now. They played a minute and 10 seconds of the opening period. No score. Longevin dropped it up the line for Bossy. Nice play. Pearsall shooting. Tonelli again. It's cleared to the line. No, Longevin let it go. It's picked away. Crotches there. It's called.
Well, after the game the other night, Mickey, a lot of attention paid to all of the quick changes that Roger Nielsen was making. Al Arbor says, doesn't bother me. We change things around, too.
We haven't seen a whole lot of it here in this early going of game 2, Dick, but they did change 1, 2 guys, sometimes 3, very seldom 3. The other night, every whistle, we had guys going to that Vancouver bench, jumping on. They did it very well. They didn't get caught too many times at all with too many men on the ice. They didn't get caught once. Line changes were sharp. They got it off and really didn't get hurt by it at all. It's a very difficult thing to do. Tough system to play.
Miner, Moline, and Williams for Vancouver. And they get the draw right at their own line. Janssen back there with Morrow. That's Janssen coming up to center, shooting a long one. Brodeur, easy save, and Campbell takes it behind the net. He's on there with Lindgren for Vancouver. Now Lindgren working it out against Gillies. He was bumped by Gillies. That's the first check we've seen of the game. Vancouver's Moline played it down to the line. That's stopped by Janssen, racing back with Gillies on his left. Janssen coming in. He'll drop it to Gillies. Gillies winding up, and the shot. A weak one was wide. Bossy keeping it in. Lindgren. Gillies cruising in there, looking for the body again. Moline coming out to center for Vancouver Canucks. In on the wing, Lindgren took the shot, and Smith gloved that easily. Coming up to the 3-minute mark of the opening period, there's no score. That's Snaps going back, and icing called against the New York Islanders.
Well, again, we refer to the quick changes. Now, Mickey, we had a situation here on that last face-off when Nielsen immediately made a change. Now, watch this. Puck is dropped. Watch 26. Moline gets rid of the puck and then just heads to the bench.
There's a change being made right off the bat. 3 seconds it took to make that change. And that's the type of thing we saw there. You have the switching. Tiger Williams coming on. Mike Bossy on the ice for the Islanders. And Tiger didn't leave him too far the other night. So Bossy with the big hat trick.
Face off to the right of the New York net. That's Lane. Smith has to come out of the goal and clear it into the corner. Hot pass to the line, and here comes Merrick with Nystrom going in. Nystrom jamming on the brakes. It's poked away by Rona, but they keep it in. Nystrom got in front of the net. Now he's still in control on the boards. Merrick helping Nystrom. Shooting at the side of the net. Scramble for it back there. They hold it on the mesh for a second, then it's knocked away by Steps. Nystrom ran into his man and bowled him over heavily inside the Vancouver blue line. That was Rhoda took that heavy check from Nystrom. Lane from center ice. The blocker. The save by Brodeur. In back of the net. The Islanders trying to dig it out. It's cleared back to the line. Lane winding up. Screen shot. Rebound. And it's knocked wide of the net. Tonelli was knocked to the ice. He was flattened as he let the shot go. There's Nystrom at the bench. They're making changes. They nearly got caught with too many on there. Another long shot gloved by Brodeur. Islanders seem to be doing all the hitting of the early going of this hockey game. There's no score. 3.5 minutes gone. In the first period, Bossy trying to hit Bourne with the pass. Williams was checking him. In the corner, Bossy. Here comes Williams. Can he rip one into Bossy and knocked him flying? The Canucks clear into the center ice zone again. Now Longevin is dumped near the line. It gets back into the play, though. Longevin from the line with Bourne. There's his shot off the boards into the corner at the far side. Williams trying to hold on to it. He does. Iantache doing some pushing and shoving. And you can see for yourself what's happening now.
Tiger Williams was asked after Game 1 about Mike Bossy's defensive abilities. Tiger said he can't even spell the word.
From the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
Fresh air. For 50 years, we've been improving the way we move it underground. The payoff for Canadian miners is a cleaner, healthier engine now.
Ryan Trottier in the penalty box, off with Tiger Williams for roughing at 4:09. Got a problem with the door in the area of the Vancouver net, so the game is held up just a bit. Bob, you mentioned off the top that maybe the Islanders just better turn their back and skate away from this sort of thing, and yet there's Trottier in the box after the Tigers started things in the corner, along with Trottier and Bossy and others.
Well, Tiger Dick throwing a couple of elbows at Trottier. And there was talk in the press the last couple of days about these two fellas mixing it up before this one's over, and all of a sudden, within 5 minutes of Game 2, we've got them going at it.
So Williams and Trottier get roughing penalties. These are the first penalties called in the game. Face off in the Vancouver zone to the left of Brodeur. Keller and Carroll up front for New York. The goaltender cleared it to the side of the net, and the Canucks go back to organize. Smeel skates to the left side, gets the pass. Bredin waits for it ahead of him. It did not come. Once again, it's dropped back. Vancouver coming back to line up. Smeel starts to the right side this time, and there's the pass. Smeel lost a chance to move it, and the Islanders' Keller is offside, it's called.
Gentlemen, while we have a pause in the action, I'd like to pass along our condolences to Hockey Night in Canada producer Don Wallace, whose mother passed away Sunday. To Don and the members of his immediate family, from all of us here on Long Island, and on behalf of all other members of the Hockey Night in Canada crews across the country, we extend our sincerest sympathy.
They played 4 minutes and 36 seconds of the first period. There is no score. Carroll got the draw. Coming back. Eldebrink for Vancouver behind the net. Left it there. Now the Canucks unable to get too much going offensively so far in this first period. Eldebrink, however, played it in. Bredin was offside, and Billy Smith, let me tell you, took one heck of a swing with a stick at Bredin, who went by.
You know, at the other end, when the play was forming up, Brodeur made contact with Billy Carroll, and Wicks looked behind, and he sort of made as if he went through my crease. He pointed down. At the other end, this is what happened with Smith, Mickey.
There's a look at the swipe by Smith with that big goal stick.
It's after the whistle
for Gradine, he didn't get a piece of those ankles, but boy, the Islanders are really taking it to Vancouver here in the first 5-6 minutes. They've been running into the Vancouver players at every opportunity, something the Canucks did the other night. And here again, a look at the swing and a miss by Billy Smith. But Islanders really coming out here, the aggressors on the physical side so far tonight.
Goring is up there in front now with Bossy. That's Eldebrink going back for Vancouver. Smeel skates back into the corner to help him. Eldebrink can't figure out which way to go. Goring is in watching him. Forechecking for New York. Now the Canucks get to center ice. It's cleared in by Lindgren. Into the corner. Bredin got it back. Lindgren will get a shot now. There it is. And the glove save by Billy Smith. And there's going to be a penalty to the New York Islanders. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Cord Lane of the Islanders off for cross-checking at 5:16. He flattened Thomas Gradine in the area of the New York net. There it is, right in the center of your screen. And so the Islanders play shorthanded right here. Trottier and Williams are still in the box.
Bredin with Smeel and Moline. Fraser's also on there for Vancouver. And it's cleared off the stick and down to center ice. Moline has to come back. He was playing the point. As they lined up inside the New York line, there is no score. And here come the Canucks, led by Gradine. Got a pass in on the left side. Moline waits for it. He returns this way. It does not come. Now back to the line of Smeel. Smale now gives it to him. Moline back to Smale. Smale takes the shot. It was tipped near the net. Just missed. Fraser came close. In the corner, Gradine to Fraser. Back of the net. Fraser gets it out to Moline. Moline winds up, takes a step, lets her go, hit the goal post. It bounced right back to him. He hit the post on that shot. Now Gradine turning around for Vancouver. Gradine gets it back. Again, Moline with a drive. That's deflected. That's just wide. Putman bumping over there. The Canucks keeping him though. Again, Gradine, beautiful move right in. Steele took a shot. Knocked away by Goring. Back to the line, Moline. And that one was wide. Great pressure by Vancouver. But now the Islanders get it out of their own zone. Trottier is pushed around a bit. Fans get on their feet now. They're making a bit of noise here in Uniondale. And here's McDonald on for his first turn. McDonald gets it as far as center and swept back down the ice by the New York Islanders. 35 seconds left in Lane's penalty. Turning around with it, Bolderev. No score coming out on this power play. McDonald to the left, Rhoda to the right. There's Bolderev. McDonald has it now. Back to Bolderev. Out to the line. Here's a chance. That shot is blocked in front by Longovic. Bolderev again. 15 seconds left in the penalty. Right in front of the net. Now back of the goal. Out front again. Vancouver trying to get one shot away. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Rhoda back of the goal. Rhoda tried to jam it out. Got it to the line. A drive by Hallward is nowhere near the net. Lane is on. The penalty is over. There is still no score.
Now, Dick, the Canucks with some great scoring chances on that 4-on-3 and 5-on-4, a goal post. Boy, they were all over the front of Billy Smith, but they just couldn't get that quick pass in there and a good shot on goal.
Boy, they controlled the puck, Mick. Reminded you of the Quebec power play that we saw that worked so well at times in that Nordiques Boston Bruins series. Here's the shot by Moline. You don't see him, but it rattled right off the goalpost, the outer part of the goalpost, unfortunately for him.
Billy Smith totally screened on the play. You see the Vancouver players heading right for the front of the net. What a play by Lindgren back there at the point. Unfortunately for Vancouver, Smale couldn't get the pass. It was bouncing up in the air. But Smith doing acrobatics in that Islander net.
Bolderev is number 9 for Vancouver. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the first period. Bolderev got it over in front. Milanjevic now takes into the corner, around the net with it. Trottier moving it out with Merrick to Trottier. Trottier and Merrick go in. There's Trottier, takes the shot. Now he's knocked down. And Brodeur out of the net, trying to clear. Trottier again into the corner. And went by Bossy. Sneps has it. Coming out is Gillies. He had him lined up. Sneps got rid of it. Now Sneps again. Poked it ahead. Longovic for New York. Gillies missed that pass. He was going the other way. Bellin goes back to his own goal for Vancouver. Trottier forechecking. So is Gillies. When the puck gets out to center ice. Now they've played 8 minutes of the first period. No score. Moline at the line, left it for Minor. There's Minor going in for Vancouver. The low shot, easy save for Smith. And he left it there in the corner. Now the New York Islanders again. Pearson coming out with it. Straight up the ice to center. Pass into Trottier. He was offside. And it's called. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Now, Mickey, you mentioned the Williams-Trottier confrontation. It has had a couple of moments here tonight.
A couple of Saskatchewan boys going at it pretty tough and heavy.
I'm Bob Cole with Mickey Redmond and Dick Irvin at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. There's no score in this first period. And Sneps pulled one away from Merrick. Merrick still looking for it inside the zone. Delorme bodied on the boards by Potvin. Up to center, Bolderev poked it in. Look at Billy Smith taking no chances. He's 20 feet out diving on that one.
A lot of people wondered about Smith being so calm, cool, and collected the other night. He seems to be a little edgy tonight as we look at Harold Sneps, who was the unfortunate victim on the game-winning goal in overtime. But as the Vancouver hierarchy said, surely this is not going to be held against him because he has had a super playoff year. Back of the net, the goal judge. The minor officials here tonight are from Boston.
That's Richie Cavanaugh, Vic Rasmussen, The goal judge from Boston up the other end. At the blue line. Campbell's shot. Deflected in front. Billy Smith is drawing a penalty now. The New York Islanders. Smith upended the Vancouver player right in front of him. And there's a minor penalty coming up against the Islanders. Denny Potvin is in the penalty box, but Mickey, you can't tell me Billy Smith didn't upend the Vancouver player in front.
Well, Bob, they were both there together. Let's have a look at it. Smith was out there. You see, Smith's stick was drawn back just at the last minute. Potvin had a piece of him also. Ron Wick decided he's got to send somebody off with a penalty like that. So Dennis Potvin, the culprit on the play.
8:46, the time of the penalty. And now the Vancouver power play. Mickey, have a good look at this one. It comes back to the line. They move it around pretty well. Elderbrink took a shot, and Smith grabbed it. Dick, you mentioned a moment ago, reminiscent of the way Quebec Nordiques handle their power play alignment. Vancouver seemed to have it organized just as well.
Well, that big pressure the previous time was when they were playing 5 against 4, Mickey. But they were patient, and they were cool, and they almost scored.
You know, the one difference that we have between the Quebec power play and the Vancouver, Quebec does not flood the front of the net. The Stastnys like to stand off at the side and get those pretty passes coming through the crease area. The Canucks, on the other hand, just jam the front of that net in front of Billy Smith and try to get him screened or redirect the shot in behind him for a goal.
Gradine got the draw. Elderbrink at the blue line. Into him again. That's Gradine feeding up behind the net. It's centered. Billy Smith again. He'll cover up every opportunity he gets. He'll hang on to it.
So what are you telling me, Mick? This is not like the Quebec power play?
No, I say it is very much like it, the way they've been moving the puck around. Dick, who's going to question you, Dick?
Oh, you
Not
will,
me.
I hope.
But the only difference is really they pass the puck around the same, or they are at least here tonight. But the Quebec Nordiques, as we noticed in their series, love to stand back and try to make those perfect passes and get the automatic tip-ins.
Fraser went after Langevin, couldn't get the puck. Pearson hammered one to the line, and Pache knifed it down the ice. The Islanders are changing now as the play goes on with 1:25 left. And the penalty to Potvin of New York. No score this first period. Icing might be called this time. Pearson back. They wave it off. Crowd didn't like that. Now Goring got one out to center ice. Hallward up across center. Smeal slaps it in for Vancouver. Billy Smith stops it. Smith to Langevin. He was pretty cool playing that one away. Now Goring left it there. And coming down is Carroll. Carroll going in with Butch Goring. Carroll still has it. Decides to lug it back out. Killing some time. 50 seconds left of the penalty. Carroll doing a good job. Here he is again. Gets it back. Great play by the Islanders. As Bourne comes in. Bourne breaking for the net. Bourne! And the shot was knocked away by Brodeur. But Bourne ran into the goaltender as he circled the net. Knocked him flying. I'll tell you, Brodeur has been roughed up more than any goaltender I've seen in the first game. And now it looks again tonight, Mickey, as if he's in for it once more.
I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see Bourne run into him. I was following the puck down in the corner. But we'll have a look at it again on the replay. Bourne making a super move on Hallward to go to the outside. There's the backhand shot. And, oh, it looks like his stick may have come up, Dick.
Glancing blow as he swung around behind the net, Mick.
Here's a better angle over here, Dick. And watch the stick of Bob Bourne. Right there. And I don't believe that was an act on purpose by any means. Bob Bourne going in there, and I think he was hit from the blind side just as he was standing at the side of the net after letting the backhand go. And the stick, something like the other night where Nystrom stick caught Brodeur. I think the same type of situation there. But Brodeur visibly upset about it.
36 seconds left in Potvin's penalty. No score, just past the halfway mark of this opening period. The Vancouver Canucks starting it is Lindgren. Skates to the line, lugs it to center. Bourne couldn't stop him. The Canucks will bring it in now. Bolderev gets his pass across in front, too far for Rhoda. That's McDonald over there, back to the blue line. Lindgren to McDonald again. McDonald winds up, doesn't shoot it, waiting. 10 seconds left in the penalty as he let it go. Billy Smith knocked it away himself, and the Islanders will kill another penalty. Potvin is now back on. Penalty over. No score. Crowd loving this. Bolderev play to center. And on the right side, the Canucks just slap it in. That was Belland, and onside is called. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
here who are exuberant, but I think, Bob Cole, they are going to take a back seat to what's going to happen at the Coliseum in Vancouver 48 hours from now, approx.
You better believe it. They've gone wild in Vancouver. They tell me, Dick, they were out on the streets the other night with a television camera, and only the cameraman was there. Nobody else.
Mean our ratings are all right in Vancouver?
I think so. Tipped away by Brodeur. Look out. He nearly lost it. And don't lose it to Bossy. Of all people. Pearson going back in his own zone for the New York Islanders, coming out with it now. Coming up to the 12-minute mark as the Islanders launch event, shooting it in, and a penalty coming up against Delorme. He went into launch event and wrapped him up along the boards, and Delorme draws the penalty.
Well, there you had a case, Bob, of Dave Langevin doing the thing you said the Islanders pretty well, not all the time perhaps, but often will have to do, just kind of skate away from the rough stuff. Now, Delorme took the elbow from Langevin, it was. Now watch this, right on the top of the helmet, and he got caught for the retaliation. Langevin with the elbow, and then Delorme on the retaliation, Mickey, and he gets a cross-checking penalty at 11:27.
Langevin did get that elbow up pretty good fashion, but Delorme really overdoing it on the retaliation, and now the Islanders, a tremendous power play on their part. An opportunity to get the lead in this hockey game.
And it's Trottier with Gillies, Bossy, Potvin, and Janssen. Delorme for cross-checking here at 11:27. Now a real test for the Vancouver Canucks. It's Potvin. Passes it in to Bossy. Back to Potvin. Potvin takes a look, then the shot, and it's cleared down the ice by Jerry Miner. Janssen is back. Miner, Lindgren, Snap out there for Vancouver, along with Moline. And Potvin working it down to center. He's the engineer of this power play, clearing it in. Snaps off the boards with it, trying to knock it away, but Bossy steals it. Back to Janssen. Janssen shot, knocked down in front. It hits Snaps, bounced away. In the corner is Bossy. Back to the line, Janssen. Potvin. That pass too far for him. Potvin bumped a bit by Miner. Potvin knocks it down with his glove. Goes to Bossy. On to Janssen. Shot. Picked away by Brodeur. And it's cleared across the line. 1 minute left of the penalty. To Delorme. That's Lupul. He hooks a high one away and bounces down near the New York blue line. 50 seconds left of the penalty. No score in this first period. Here's Bourne getting loose. Bourne going in. He's pulled down. And there's going to be another penalty to the Vancouver Canucks. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
The Canucks are 2 men short. Lars Lindgren off for hooking. 42 seconds left in the Delorme penalty. This is why Lindgren has been penalized. Bob Bourne was the puck carrier. Great chance here for New York. That 2-man advantage.
Trottier, Bossy, Bourne, Potvin, Pearson. What a lineup, Nick.
Boy, they've got an awesome power play out there. And Canucks tough enough with 1 man short, let alone 2. But good test for the Vancouver penalty killers here.
Miner got the draw neatly from Trottier. But Potvin stopped it. Pearson winds up. Gets in front. Doesn't shoot it. Into the corner it goes. Back to Pearson. And he rifled one wide. Now Potvin. Coming in a step or two. To Bossy. He put it right on Brodeur, who stopped it. Trottier's upended in front. 18 seconds left of the Delorme penalty. Bossy shooting. Rebound. No, sir. Brodeur hangs on to it. A good play by Brodeur to beat Bossy and then hang on to it.
Super play by Mike Bossy. You talk about the power play, Mickey. They have scored in their last 4 power play chances through back to the Quebec series. And 6 of their last 7 power play chances. So you're right. It's operating very effectively here at playoff time.
I'll tell you, Dick, what's some heavy hitting going on out there. Look at this shot by Campbell on Trottier. Boy, boy. Snipped into it by Bobby Bourne. Brodeur makes the save. Campbell doing a great job. Look at that two-hander on Bossy. He gets an excellent scoring chance. Brodeur standing tall again. You see Brodeur not going down. That's his style. That stand-up type of goaltender. And he just comes out and blocks the shot by Mike Bossy.
13 seconds left in DeLorme's penalty. The Islanders a two-man advantage. At this point, there is no score in this first period. Scoring now with Dwayne Sutter getting it back to the line. Potvin to Pearson. Pearson to Potvin. Here's comes right in front. Lupul was there. Got in the way. Pearson fired one to the corner. Sutter got it back. DeLorme is back on. In front of the net. Goring. Great save by Brodeur. And the Vancouver Canucks shoot it down the ice with 1:05 left in Lindgren's penalty. No score. Still a power play now for New York. Pearson to Gillies. He had to drop it back. Potvin lugging it in. Dropped it to the line to Gillies. On the other side. Here's Goring. He lost it. And a breakaway for Moline. One man to catch him. That's Pearson. Moline fired it. No, he didn't get very good wood on it at all. And it slipped through to the goaltender, Billy Smith. Good chance for the Canucks. 35 seconds left. In the Vancouver penalty, coming in as Goring, dropping it to the line. Here's Potvin shooting, and he ripped it wide. You know, Mickey, what's happening now? The Islanders look to me to be a bit frustrated with the goaltending of Brodeur, and they're really trying to pick the post.
Well, Potvin, an excellent scoring chance. How many times have we seen Denny Potvin, Dick, in that slot area? And the only thing you see after seeing Potvin there is the bulge of the net and the red light go on. But they're missing the net in quite a few shots here in Brodeur, and he has stopped the ones that they've gotten on him. There's a look at Potvin on that familiar shot. And you see Campbell not giving him a second to get the shot away. He rushed him right away, and I'm sure a good reason that shot did not get on the net.
How about the chance for Moline at the other end on the short-handed break?
No, it looked like he was going to try to get that puck over to Lupul, and all of a sudden he was left all alone, using Lupul as the decoy, and he just fanned on it at the last minute. Couldn't have been any more than 10, 12 feet out in front of Billy Smith, huh?
What a lift for the Vancouver Canucks if they can hang on for another 29 seconds. That's the time remaining in Lars Lindgren's penalty. Bossy gets it back to the line. Here's Potvin again. And his pass stopped. Another pass to Bossy. Bossy lobbed it into the corner. Bossy has it again. Back in front. Jackson shoots it. It was blocked. Now another chance down the ice. That's Gradine. And Potvin getting chased. He upends him, and he's going to get a penalty. Potvin racing back, threw his stick in the air.
And could there be trouble over that puck? Whether Wicks will call it or not, I don't think he saw it, but anytime a referee sees a guy put that stick in the air like that, you're looking for a misconduct penalty.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Potvin's in the box for tripping at 14:38. The fans very upset. You've got to wonder about this, Mick. He made contact with the puck first, then Gradine went down. Potvin threw his stick in the air, but you're right, Wicks didn't see it. He could have drawn at least another two for sportsmanlike conduct there.
Lucky.
Only 7 seconds left in Lindgren's penalty, and then the Canucks will have the man advantage. Vancouver organizing back to center is Moline. Dropping all the way back against Carroll. Now Moline starts it out. Lindgren is back on. The Canucks with a man advantage, and they're going to be called for icing. If Morrow can get back in time, he does. Icing called against Vancouver.
Well, Ron Rick jumping out here and showing these guys that he's going to take control of this hockey game right from the start. And let them know if they're going to fool around, they're going to be sitting in the penalty box.
Well, he was a man on the spot tonight, certainly. If he read the papers the last couple of days here in New York, the Islanders very vocal about the refereeing in Game 1. Wally Harris worked that game. And Roger Nielsen had strictly a no comment when he was asked to reply to what Al Arbor and company were saying. Wicks is the man here tonight.
Goring and Carroll up front. For New York, Lane and Morrow, the other penalty killers, the defenseman. That's Campbell shooting it in. In back of the net goes Lane. Gradine chasing him. There comes Fraser to help out. He ran into Lane, gave him a bumper. He tried to come around the net with it. Gradine again. Lane chasing him. There's Fraser cutting to the corner. out to Carroll. Carroll didn't get the pass, and Moline races right back for Vancouver. Coming in on the left side of the corner. He centered it. It bounces through everybody. Bellin couldn't stop it. A 2-on-1 for New York. Here's Bourne going in with Carroll. A pass, goal! Carroll set up beautifully, and it's a short-handed goal for the New York Islanders.
Boy, you never know when they're on the ice. Gordy Lane, you see, getting hooked down at the last minute. What a play by Bourne over to Billy Carroll. But this play was all set up when Neil Bellin got caught in the Islander zone down at the other end. And a 2-on-1 resulting for the Islanders. There's Carroll with the easy pickings. And Brodeur, no chance at all in the play.
You know, you saw Gord Lane being dumped just at the bottom of your screen on that first shot. There was a penalty being called on Vancouver on the play, which now, of course, is wiped out.
15:55, the time of that goal. 1-0 New York Islanders. 30 seconds left in the penalty to Potvin of New York. So Vancouver give up the shorthanded goal, and Bolderev trying to do something about it now to get even again. Bolderev might go all the way. Weaved his way in on Pearson and was knocked to the ice. Elderbrink kept it in. That's McDonald in the corner. McDonald back to Elderbrink. A penalty coming up. In front of the net, there was some shoving going on.
Ivan Bolderev dumped Stefan Pearson in front of the New York net. I believe it's Bolderev who draws the penalty. As John D'Amico hits the deck. Why people laugh at that, I really don't know.
And did he dump him, Dick? We'll get a look at it hopefully on replay here. Bolderev just gave him a two-hand cross-check right in front of Billy Smith. Look at this. No question about it. Very unnecessary penalty for Bolderev to take. They're on the power play still with only 3 seconds left to Denny Potvin. But maybe a little frustration on Ivan Bolderev, and he really gave it to Pearson. Islanders will be on a power play in 3 seconds.
Gentlemen, while we have a minute, congratulations in order tonight to Tom Watt, the coach of the Winnipeg Jets, who today was named the official Coach of the Year in the National Hockey League. He wins the Jack Adams Trophy plus $1,000. The voting done by the NHL Broadcasters Association. Herb Brooks, another first-year coach, was second. Glenn Sather of the Edmonton Oilers was third. Tom did a tremendous job, of course, in Winnipeg, and he will receive the trophy at the Stanley Cup luncheon in Vancouver on Saturday. Incidentally, fans in Vancouver might be interested. That luncheon is open to the public this year. More on that later.
Potvin steps from the penalty box, and now the Islanders leading 1-0, have the man advantage. Tonelli is hit across the line. Couldn't set it up. Lindgren fired one down the ice, and the Islanders will go back. That's Janssen, number 3. Tonelli comes behind the net. Janssen still holds it. Potvin to the left side, and here they come. Nice from to the right wing. As Tonelli brings it in. He's trying to pass it over to Merrick. It was tipped away. Now there's Merrick back to the goal. Merrick is bumped. Snep comes in against Nystrom. Tonelli just waits there, and Snep has it. Lob one off the glass, too high, actually, over the glass, into the crowd.
We got a player hit over on the Vancouver bench. Don't know, you can't tell who it was. He's sitting beside Blair McDonald, but whoever it is.
Gradine, is it?
Yes.
Thomas Gradine, it looks like, and even with that face mask, it must have caught him in the chin area, Dick.
Young Dave Pichette of the Nordiques being clipped on the bench with a shot, and he went out and scored the winning goal in that same period, Game 7 in Boston. He received a nasty cut, needed several stitches. Tough break.
The shorthanded goal by Carroll, his second from Bourne at 15:55. 1-0. The New York Islanders.
Oh, it makes the Islanders penalty killing so great. Not only do they kill a lot of penalties off, Dick, they score a lot of goals. When you've got guys like Bourne and Carroll with the kind of speed that they possess, they can make some offensive chances happen out there, even shorthanded.
Pearson winds up, took a shot that was blocked by Miner. Pearson again to the other side with it. Knocked down by Tonelli. He works it back to Potvin. The drive chipped away by Nystrom wide. Merrick has it now. Merrick gets it back to Pearson. Another shot. Rebound. front of the net with Brodeur down quickly to hang on to it.
Well, some pressure there by New York. That shorthanded goal by Carroll, the first shorthanded goal of for or against scored in playoff games involving the Canucks this year.
Well, I tell you, they don't leave guys stand around the front of the net very long in this series. Look at Nystrom. Barely got that rebound shot, and bingo, he gets hit by Lindgren, Harold Sneps. And a good look at it from behind the net. Brodeur covering up, and look at that. There comes Sneps in there. Pretty rough going down there.
Danger pay for going in front of the net in this one.
That's for sure.
51 seconds left. Bolderev's penalty. Islanders lead by a goal. Pearson at the blue line. Lobbed it into Gillies and hopped away from him. Trottier takes it back to the net, takes a look. Trottier rags it a bit. Now gets it out to Potvin. To Pearson. To Potvin. He winds up. He won't shoot it from there. Pearson again to Potvin. Potvin skates back a bit with it. Now takes a look. Now gets ready. Waves the shot. Missed it all together. Gillies took a drive. The rebound. Down goes Brodeur. And this time he hangs on to it.
Mike Bossy falling as he made the shot, Mickey. I don't know if it had a little more steam on it. It might have made it along the ice a little higher. It would have got up over the stick.
Well, Brodeur got that big goal stick down. There's Bossy, and he gets whacked right as he's going after it right there. Still manages to get the stick on it, but Brodeur with a goal stick across that line made the big save.
Mick, doesn't that tell you something about Mike Bossy, who still was able to make the play, get a shot away under those circumstances?
Seen him score a goal sitting on the ice a few times this year.
That's Moline over there against Gillies. And the Canucks shoot it down the ice. And now, at Bolderev's penalty, 12 seconds. Billy Smith tipped it in back to the corner where Pearson brings it out. Here he comes, hitting the line. 3 seconds left at the Vancouver penalty. The drive is put on, and Brodeur stopped it. Gillies knocked it off the boards. 3 Canucks break out of the zone. They're at full strength again. That's Miner lugging it in. Miner rolled a pass off the skate of Lane, and now Billy Smith gives it away. The play is called. Another penalty coming up. This one against the Islanders. It's going to be an interference call.
Looks like Stefan Persson for holding or interference, Bob, down behind Billy Smith on Ivan Bolderev.
Islanders penalty number 7, Stefan Persson.
For our interference. Let's check on our first intermission now. David Hodge is standing by. Dave?
Of the Islanders.
Bob, in our first intermission, Don Cherry in the coach's corner will discuss these New York Islanders and try to figure out where they might rank on a list of multiple Stanley Cup winners. And we'll have a film feature, the NHL, where is it going in terms of this decade of the 80s?
David, we look forward to that with only 1:12 remaining in this period. 1-0 the New York Islanders.
Pretty good period of hockey so far. Vancouver playing their style and their system again pretty well. The Islanders coming out using the body. Here's a look at the penalty. Bolderev going in, and Persson completely taking him out of the play. And the call interference at 18:48.
So, again, the Vancouver Canucks with the power play have an opportunity to get back into it before the period runs out. And they get the draw. Eldebrink cleared into the corner. That's Lane trying to move it out for New York. Trottier will get it away to Bourne. Trottier comes up with it. That's Bourne. Tried to go in, lost control of it. Bourne falls. Penalty coming up against Vancouver.
All right, Mickey, the refereeing came under a lot of talk, of course, a lot of talk about it after game 1. Now, how about Wicks here in this first period? He's called a lot of penalties.
Well, I think it's Ron Wicks usually does. He calls the game very tightly. Most officials will, as you look at the penalty there, Kurt Fraser on Bobby Bourne, most officials will let the teams play if they want to play. But because of all the activity in game 1, it was evident that they wanted to hook and grab and hold both sides, not only Vancouver, as they've been accused of here in New York, but both teams were doing it. And Ron Wicks deciding here that he's going to call them if they get out of line, and that he's done. He's letting the players know he's going to get control of this hockey game, not them.
So again, they're even. And Sneps comes in for Vancouver. Jams on the brakes, set up Smale. Smale gets a chance, rolled it back in front. Billy Smith made a big save. He kicked out the leg and made that beautiful save and then held it.
is the kind of thing that made that game on Saturday night drag on and on and on. There were so many cases when the whistle would go, and then, well, you saw what happened right here. It happened a lot in Game 1.
Well, it happened so much, Jeff, that Al Arbor, one of the press statements here in the last couple of days, said he was going to put a ring at center ice, fill it with mud, and let's have a good mud fight, get it all out of the way, and settle down to play hockey. But you see what happened here. Stan Smeel came in on the rebound, looking for the rebound shot, took a little swipe at the puck, and got Billy Smith, and of course, here come the Islanders. Gordy Lane right in there to his rescue, so a lot of this stuff happening after whistles, and extracurriculars going on right now between Sneps and Trottier out at the blue line. Stefan Pearson in the penalty box.
It's a mismatch from a size standpoint, Brian and Gord.
Pearson has 1:26 remaining in his penalty. Fraser, a minute 43. Only 38 seconds left in this period, so they'll go out even strength.
I say Brian and Gord, Brian and Harold.
From the draw, Smeel thought go by him. Hallward couldn't stop it, and it's down the ice with 30 seconds left in the period. That's Sneps. Back to the net. Vancouver moving it out. New York leading 1-0. 23 seconds, and there's 23 for Vancouver. Bernine gets in front. Comes back to Sneps. Sneps left it there for Hallward. Hallward winds up, doesn't shoot it, pass it in front. And it's cleared through the crease and back to the net with 10 seconds left of the period. And Putba has it. 5 seconds left. He'll get rid of it, make no mistake about that. To center ice. And the first period ends. Well, the Islanders just clearing it out and killing the clock. And the score at the end of the first period, Islanders 1, Vancouver Canucks nothing.
Are 3 wins away from their 3rd straight Stanley Cup. They'd be the first U.S.-based team ever to do that, and no matter where you reside, winning 3 straight Stanley Cups qualifies you for some degree of greatness. If the Islanders do go on to win the Stanley Cup, they'll be compared to other teams like the Canadians who won 4 in a row, or the Canadians who won 5 in a row. How do they stack up as far as you're concerned? Well, the Stanley Cup, they'll be compared to other teams like the Canadians who won 4 in a row, or the Canadians who won 5 in a row. How do they stack up as far as you're concerned?
Well, I like their depth. That's the thing that they've got going for them. They got that 4th line. Al can play that 4th line all the time. Throw it out there. He's not afraid to throw it out.
Apart from depth, they've got Bossy, the goal scorer, Trottier, the playmaker. They've got plenty of size with people like Gillies and Nystrom. They've got a worker like Tonelli. Many underrated players such as Merrick and some of those defensemen, Langevin and Gord Lane. They would seem to have, if you were drawing a team on paper, especially for playoff hockey, just about what you'd want.
Well, you know how I like Nystrom and Tonelli, but I think the guy that's most maligned on this club all the time is Billy Smith. I never really read anything good about him. All I hear is people talk about him hacking all the time, how bad he is all the time, but somehow or other he comes up with that big save at the right time. Sure, he gets a lot of goals scored on him, but somehow he wins, and I don't think he gets the credit. The old Perth boy, he comes through. Sure, he's a hacker. You don't hang around there too long, but I think he should get more praise. A little praise for Billy Smith once in a while.
Is it a team you would like to coach?
Oh, who wouldn't love to coach? I'll tell you, they've got everything going for them, even when they're not flying. They have that little ingredient, like the Canadians. You can have them on the ropes. All of a sudden, they'll score in the last 2 or 3 minutes, being in the top corner. They've got the ingredients for a great club.
You would do nothing differently with them than Al Arbor does, right?
Well, I'd probably, and when it got in just close, I'd probably put 7 men on the ice and screw it all up. You know that one.
Well, the Islanders are doing just fine, although they did have trouble in game number 1 against the Vancouver Canucks, but there will be talk that the Islanders should rank near some of the great teams in history if they do win their 3rd straight Stanley Cup. And our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will continue in just a moment.
nicely in the offensive zone, banging into every Islander they had a chance to.
And as we start the second period, Pearson of New York has 48 seconds remaining in his penalty. Fraser of Vancouver, 1:04. So at the moment, they're 5 aside. And now in just 40 seconds, the Islanders will have the man advantage again. 1-0 New York. That's Snaps going to center. Snaps going in over the line, dropped it over. The long shot by Gradine was off the target, and 3 Islanders come back to center. Keller played it in on the left side for Janssen. Back to Keller. Closing in for Carroll. And that was broken up right in front of Brodeur. Smeel gets to center ice. Smeel played it in on the wing for Gradine. Gradine to the corner. Got away from a check. Left it there. Now Billy Smith popped out of the net to try to clear it away. Still back there. Morrill over for Keller. Now Pearson is back on, and the Islanders have the man advantage. They shoot it down the ice. Brodeur has to stop it. 8 seconds left in Fraser's penalty. The Canucks get to center ice. Shooting it in over the line, and then Bossy turns with it. Bossy. And a pass to Trottier as Fraser stepped from the box, and he bumped with Trottier. Now there's Fraser, bringing it in for Vancouver. A pass in front. Here's Miner. Can't get a shot away. He was too well covered. Pearson again for Bossy to center with Gillies and Trottier. There's the pass. It didn't work. Campbell broke it up. Miner got as far as center, and Big Gillies stopped it. Gillies slapped it back for Bossy. Into Trottier. Trottier being covered by Campbell. They go to the corner. Campbell bumps the New York player. Gillies comes over. 4 players fall to the ice, and the Canucks bring it out. The center is Lindgren. Going in for Vancouver. Dropped it right there up the line. Kept in along the boards is Williams. To the corner, Williams. Got in front with it. Tried to jam it by Billy Smith, who's down. And they hang on to it. Puck ends up in the net, but of course the whistle had gone quite a few seconds before.
And a back of the net look we had a moment ago as we look at it again from there as to the aftermath.
Well, the tagger right in the middle of that one, he lugged the puck around back of the net and tried to jam it in the short side, but Billy Smith alertly across to cover up on that. There you see Smith coming across. There's Williams, and the extracurriculars taking place as Billy Smith covered up on the puck. Ooh. Sticks high, bodies flying again, but nothing serious over this one, fortunately.
Nothing serious. Ask Mike Bossy about that. Nothing serious.
Look at Tagger, and there's a look at Bill Began, Prairie Sound, Ontario, president of the Toledo Gold Diggers, new International Hockey League champions and winners of the Turner Cup. Our congratulations to Toledo and Bill, who was just named the Hockey News Minor League Executive of the Year. And Dick and Bob, Bill also involved with the Gladio Group out of Toledo to purchase the Detroit Red Wings, which I guess negotiations have been going on for 5 or 6 weeks. Coming down to the final moments next few weeks.
Bellin's high shot is off the glass, and lane for New York. To Nystrom. To the line at center is Merrick shooting it in. Out of the net, Brodeur to stop it. Bellin takes it behind the goal for Vancouver, bumped by Nystrom as he did. But the Canucks carry on and clear it. Delorme's long shot, wide of the net. It bounces down in front. Merrick was there. It was cleared then by Potvin. Bolderan hopping back with Snaps. That Snaps to Rhoda. That did not work. Merrick, a nice pass for Tonelli. Tonelli gets it to Nystrom. Nystrom got it back in front. And the Canucks, always present inside the line. They're back checking. And they cleared it down the ice again. Now New York. The center is Potvin. Kenny Potvin going in. Didn't get a shot away. Now rolled it off to the corner. Bounced away from Merrick. And Tonelli getting it back to Lane. He slapped at it. Brodeur out of the net. Pushing up the other way for Delorme, who picked the opening to clear it. They rolled up over the line. And they wave it off. No icing. Nystrom got it ahead to Merrick. Merrick onside. Played it in behind Tonelli. He was really going in on that wing. Back for Vancouver. Centered by Gradine through the crease. Billy Smith took a swipe at it, didn't hit it. Lindgren kept it in. Now pass right in front. Oh, what a save by Billy Smith. And Smith goes down, sticks go up. equalizer. Looked as if they might go at it. From the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
I've lost my crown. Don't have to give up a fortune to look smart.
Roger Nielsen and the Canucks frustrated here a moment ago, Mickey, by Billy Smith.
Boy, oh boy, Canucks with an excellent scoring chance. It looks like Kurt Fraser out in the slot. It was Fraser, and what a save by Smith. Dan Schmiel grabbing that puck with his hand, and Ron Wicks right on the spot to make the call. As a result, the face-off out overside the Islander blue line.
1-0 is the score of the New York Islanders, and here they come again. That's Morrow playing it in. Sutter knocked it in off the boards. That was Dwayne Sutter. Brodeur back to the net to stop it. And here's a lead pass down to Gradine. He's home free, going right in. And Billy Smith outguessed him. He went down. Gradine still has it. Comes back to the line and drives. And that was wide as Lindgren let it go. Vancouver coming mighty close to tying it. But it's still 1-0 New York. Morrow again from center shoots it in. Brodeur stops that. Cleared it away from the side of the net. Into the corner again. Eldebrink trying to move it out. They get it across the line to center ice. Morrow and Janssen on the New York defense with Goring getting the pass. Wayne Sutter and Keller on the wing. Here they come. The play comes to Keller to center ice. Got a bit of trouble, then carried on to Janssen. Janssen, Sutter in front of the net. Took a swing at it. He was covered by Lindgren. And the Canucks bring it back out. 1-0 Islanders as Fraser hands it off. Coming in is Hallward. Hallward driving for the net. Put on the brakes. Pearson all over him. Miner going over to help. Here's a play in front. It bounced over the stick of Williams. Now Sutter. Brent Sutter trying to clear it. Islanders are getting to Sutter at center. Brent Sutter going up over the line. Gets in position. Doesn't shoot it. Now the shot. Hit the side of the net. He was in on a bad angle. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the second period. 1-0 New York. That's Williams having some trouble at center. Sutter caught up to him. Then Williams bumped the New York Islanders. Pearson dropped it back inside his own line. Langevin got it to center ice. Langevin again shoots it in on the boards in the corner. And Brodeur stops it again behind the net. Smith golfed at it. Here comes Pearson against Williams. Arrow centered it. Let it to be cleared by Moline to Miner at center. Jerry Miner going in. He was hit hard by Langevin. And spun around. He is shaky getting up. He's seeing stars at the moment. Miner really felt it. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Dave Langevin has just hit Jerry Miner with a tremendous check, but Miner really was trapped on that play, Mickey.
Well, he was really extended. Billy Carroll trying to check him, and he was extended right out fully. And Langevin a perfect chance to really get after him. That elbow did come up a little bit high. Got Jerry Miner in the face.
Now they've hit the 6-minute mark of the period. 1-0 New York. And let's see. Ron Wicks going to work again. Double Miners.
He's had a busy night, Bob. Looks like Delorme and Gordy Lane, a couple of fencers in front of Billy Smith, both going at it with the sticks, a couple of slashes, high sticks, and they're both going to the box. Boy, Wicks, you'll be glad when this game's over. It's a lot of work.
Probably more space between the penalized players in this building than there is in any other penalty box area around the National Hockey League. So we don't get much of that talking, and I'll get you and you'll get me routine.
It's a good thing, Dick, the way these two seem to have picked up those little chips on the shoulders for each other, both clubs.
Okay, Delorme for slashing and Lane for slashing here at 6:02. Again, they're 5 aside. It's 1-0 New York Islanders here in Game 2. Islanders have some difficulty in clearing it. That's Trottier being bothered by Lupul. Bossy goes in to help. Bossy in behind the net. Lupul is after him. It's played over in the corner, and now Potvin to Trottier, and Bossy is up on the play. Here's Trottier going in. Potvin catching up. Hallward intercepted. He got rid of it over on this left side. And the Canucks, Lupul, the center. That's Williams going in. Williams gets set from the line. stop in front of Lupul. Lupul, the backhander, kicked away by Billy Smith. And Potvin gets it under Bossy again. Trottier up on the play. Bossy going in. Winds up the drive. That was blocked. And Trottier has it. Now Smith will bring it out. He falls. And a penalty coming up against New York. The goaltender rushing out. Coming in on the play is Lupul. They have an extra man on now right in front. And down goes Langevin. It's still in control for Vancouver. Right in front of Lupul, too far. Lupul got his glove on it. He was bumped on the board. Williams from the corner. Williams back of the net. Finally, it's Trottier who picks it up for New York. And now the penalty called against the Islanders. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Islanders.
Hey, what a day.
Brian Trottier has been penalized for hooking at the 7:20 mark. As he fell, he hauled out Harold Snips. So Trottier joins teammate Gord Lane in the penalty box. Lane off along with Delorme of Vancouver. So the teams were playing 5-a-side when Trottier went off.
Well, Vancouver, an excellent chance here. 4 skaters to 3 with 42 seconds left in that penalty to Lane and Delorme.
Redin hopped on it from the draw. Spiel got in front, had it knocked away. He couldn't get a shot. Pearson got rid of it to center ice to Goring. He feeds it back. Langevin looks for Goring, decides to shoot it down the ice. Brodeur couldn't stop that one. It bounced off the boards. Now Fraser left it at the line. Coming out, Redin. He's going in for Vancouver. Redin gets ready, played it back to the blue line, got it returned to him. Redin closing in, gets in front, now gets it back to the line. And it's Moline waiting, played it right in, and Smith went down with a shot missed on the short side. And Goring and the Islanders speeds out. Here he comes to center. Langevin catching up. The play to Langevin behind him. And Spiel went back. And now the Vancouver Canucks rush right in. The play right in front, and Smith put up the hand, but again, it missed the net. Spiel slapped at it. Into the corner, Fraser. Fraser off the boards, winds up. Fraser doesn't shoot it. On a bad angle, and can't shoot it now. Up the line, there's a drive. Deflected, he scored! A shot from the blue line by Moline. It was deflected in front of the net, and it's tied at 1.
And there will be cheering all over Vancouver. I think Gradin was the last Vancouver player to make contact with the puck, Mickey, one
Dick,
way or
we'll
the
have
other.
to look on the replay here. It looked like Dougie Hallward originally out in front and then Gradin secondly, Dick. I think you're very right on that. It did change directions at least one time. Let's see if we can tell here. There's Hallward coming in from his defense position. It may have touched the right skate of Gradin. We'll wait for the announcement. Hallward definitely did redirect it from that middle slot area.
So Thomas Gradin, you see he's cut in the area of his mouth. That was when he was hit on the bench by the puck. But Moline and Fraser in on the play as well. I can't quite figure out those assists. Anyway, it's 1-1.
Kind of interesting, Dick, that Hallward away back from his defensive position right in front of Billy Smith. 1-1 hockey game.
8:28, the time of that goal. Gradin, Moline, and Fraser assisting. So, coming up to the 9-minute mark here in the second period, the Vancouver Canucks get a new life. The Islanders are in on this play offside.
So game 2 is tied 1-1, and game 3 will be played Thursday night in Vancouver. Now notice the start time at the Coliseum. 7 o'clock in Vancouver. That's telecast time of 10 o'clock in the East. I believe some TV listings listed 10:30 if the game was to be played out there, but it is a 7 o'clock Vancouver start time Thursday night, game 3.
Morrow fired one from center. Here comes Nystrom looking for it. That's Merrick. Bumped on the boards behind the Vancouver goal. They begin to lay on the body again down there. Here comes Nystrom. Nystrom digs it out. Now played it back off the boards for Morrow. The Canucks can't clear. Tonelli got it in front of Merrick. Easy shot, but Brodeur had to be careful. It was going for the far corner. Now back of the net, Merrick again trying to dig it out. Tonelli chopped it away to Nystrom. This is a good shift for this line. Tonelli, Merrick, and Nystrom. But now the Canucks led by Rhoda. He took a drive. That's stopped by Smith. He covered the angle neatly. It comes right in front of the net. Here's Campbell driving it. And that went off the leg and bounced away. Bolnarev kept it in. Great action now inside the New York line. Bolnarev trying to stick handle around a couple of men. He couldn't do it. Tonelli to Nystrom coming out with Merrick. they go in over the line. That's Nystrom in on the right side. He bumped in the corner. Now Delorme went in to try to dig it out. He can't. Nystrom has it. Got it in front. Oh, what a save by Brodeur on Brent Sutter. And we're getting more penalties now. Sticks go flying in there. A little bit of fencing, and they're going off.
Well, we may get 2 or 3 penalties here, Bob. It looked like Tonelli starting it out, and there was going to be a penalty, I think, on Vancouver. But John Tonelli with his stick right up in the face of the Vancouver player Campbell. We'll really have to wait until they sort this bit out.
With a score, Islanders 1 and the Canucks 1. This is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
30 for Brodeur, 2 minutes interference.
Brodeur gets the penalty for interference. Campbell gets 2 minutes for slashing. And Tonelli, he also gets a minor penalty. His is for high sticking. So the Canucks draw 2 and the Islanders 1. Colin Campbell's in the box, but Brodeur also penalized. You know, Mickey, in this second period, we have seen Billy Smith make 2 or 3 excellent stops. The Canucks have scored to tie the game. The Islanders have not had much pressure in this period, nor have they forced Brodeur into making difficult stops.
They really haven't. Vancouver has carried the play. There's going to be a correction on the penalties. We'll see if we can catch the announcement.
Vancouver penalty is number 5, Colin Campbell, 2 minutes slashing. Islanders penalty number 27, John Tonelli, 2 minutes interference, 2 minutes high sticking.
The Islanders end up with the 4 minutes worth of penalties to John Tonelli. He gets the interference call. Mick, the ruling must have been he interfered with the goaltender, Brodeur. Now there you see it on the left of your screen at the top. That's 4 minutes against number 27 of the Islanders. And 2 minutes against number 5 of the Canucks.
Well, Dick, I don't know if we're going to get another look at this or not, but it looked like Tonelli did interfere with Brodeur originally in front of the net, and that's the reason Campbell went after him. And then with the stick up in Campbell's face as a result, that would be the 4 minutes given to John Tonelli. Richard Brodeur not getting anything for that big swing of his goal stick. Now both goalies have done it tonight.
So it all comes here at a point just past the midway mark of the second period. The score tied at 1. And snaps for Vancouver, unable to move it out by Lane, who held it with a skate on the boards. You talk about interest in this series. As we look at that mix-up around the net again, there's Nystrom.
No, it looked like by that replay that Tonelli possibly was going to get an elbowing penalty to start it off, or something close to that.
I was going to say, Mickey, met 3 gentlemen last night at the hotel who drove all the way from Saskatchewan, from Kindersley, Saskatchewan, to see this game tonight. Herb, T, and Larry want to be remembered in Kindersley. They hope to get back, I guess. They're enjoying a whale of a game tonight. It's tied at 1. They shoot it in. The Islanders again. Brent Sutter unable to move it out. On the corner, it's cleared by Lane down to center ice. Sneps has it. Sneps fired it ahead. Give it away to Janssen. Janssen up New York with Lane on the move. He got a by and then played it back to the net. Gillies going back there. Again, they're bumping. Janssen's shot. It's deflected. Got to the goal line, but I'll tell you, Brodeur was very alert and jumped on it.
And the organist is pretty sharp here, playing close encounters of the third kind. Close encounters certainly right here. Mickey, maybe we can see in our angle. We couldn't tell how close it got. Brodeur turning around. Where is it? Oh, right
close
there.
Enough. There's big Gillies in there causing some traffic jams. The shot came through from Thomas Janssen at the point. And Brodeur very alertly saw it bouncing up over him right there and pounced on it. Bob, you talked about the folks from Kindersley, Saskatchewan. Of course, Bob Bourne, born in Kindersley, Saskatchewan, played his junior hockey for the Saskatoon Blades. 8th year with the Islanders.
9:02 left in the second period. Score tied at 1. Bossy ripping one from the faceoff. Miner nearly got lost on that last check. I think the glass has been removed over there, but
tell you, Dick, it looked like somebody just picked Jerry Miner up and threw him out the building.
Brian
Watch
Pregame.
this. Head first. My goodness.
The glass did not shatter, as you can see, and let's hope that that young lady who was sitting there was some concern being shown in her direction, was not injured as they replace the pane of glass.
Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment. Play just underway, and it comes inside the New York line and out again that quickly as Lane races in. Lane for New York dropped it nicely for Trottier. They shot the rebound. Trottier was stopped by Brodeur. It comes in front again. Another shot. Brodeur is down. And the little goaltender somehow saw it, and he grabbed it with Bossy standing right in front of him.
Mickey Brodeur a bit sloppy on the initial rebound. I'll tell you, Elderbrink did a good job to keep Trottier out of the play and back of the net. Bossy had the chance in front.
There you see the little whiff by Brodeur there, but Bossy again, Johnny on the spot. He jumps on that loose puck. And the little flip shot between the legs, anything to get it on the net. And that's one of the reasons Mike Bossy does score so many goals. Look at this one. You can't get it forehand, just flip it between legs, around people. You never know when it's going to go in.
8:21 remaining in the period. 1-1 tie. I'm Bob Cole with Mickey Redmond and Dick Irvin. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final here in Long Island, New York. Trottier comes in to take the draw, hopefully, for the Islanders. And he got the draw. Back to Pearson, to Trottier. He slides it over on the other side, launches it, let it go. Rebound. Set up for Trottier, but he was covered right away by Elderbrink. Bossy tried his stick handle from the corner. There's Trottier getting it back. It's deflected near the line. The center ice. And the Islanders are back covering up. Trottier falls. Coming in. Lindgren dropped it for Williams. He left it for Campbell to Williams. Closing in. And it's poked away by Pearson. Islanders get rid of it now. 7:45 left in the period. They cleared by Elderbrink up to center, and it comes all the way back in, and Bolderev is around the net, picking up some speed. He's coming to center. Bolderev coming in over the line. Bolderev, nice play. In on the wing for McDonald. Bolderev back to the net, but it's clear. Merrill is out for New York. A pass down to Butch Goring going in, and his shot wide on the short side. Rhoda tapped it back for the defenseman Hallward. For Elderbrink. Elderbrink waits now, and the long pass to center, a good one for Rhoda, and he's moving in. Shoots it on the boards in the corner. Keller in first. Cleared, but not out. Now the Islanders get a second chance, still not out. Vancouver trying to get the go-ahead goal now. That's Bolderev, pushed around a bit. Got it back, though, to Hallward. Hallward pass the other side. Here's Bolderev. Scores! Bolderev set up from the other side, and he ripped it off. Billy Smith, and the Canucks, in fact, do get the go-ahead goal.
And it's their second power play goal of this second period. Some great puck control, Mickey, by Vancouver.
Well, I'll tell you, Hallward back at the point. Look at him started out. Moves it over to Lindgren. All the Islanders come to that side of the ice, and there's Bolderev all alone, and he just drilled it. He did not put it around Billy Smith. He put it through him, right between the pads. Smith did get a piece of it, but he had too much on it, and here's a good back of the net angle from it. Right there, right between the pads, just barely got a touch of it. 2-1 Vancouver.
13-12 the time of the goal, and here's Rhoda now coming in for Vancouver. Lost control of it. The Canucks forechecking. Delorme got a pass in front. A quick shot just dribbled by the near post. Delorme knocking it down with his glove, but now Mora comes out. Mora to center. Going in by Delorme. Now Delorme just whipped it out, and Rhoda's away. He's coming in for the drive. And it hit Billy Smith's stick, and then ricocheted off the boards. Rhoda again. He was stopped by Potvin. The Canucks are changing as the play goes on. That's nice for failing to move it out. Miner took a shot. It's deflected by Potvin near the line. Smith trapped it. Knocked it down. Potvin again getting rid of it. And this time, put it out across the blue line. 5:55 left in the period. Vancouver leading 2-1. Here comes Merrick trying to get it out of his own zone, but Williams has it trapped with his skate, and they call the play. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
Another look at the go-ahead goal for the Canucks.
Well, Dick, I thought it was Gradine over there. It was Moline, not 23, but 26. But nevertheless, a perfect pass to Bolderev, and he buried it behind Billy Smith.
And in the playoffs, number 8 for Bolderev. 13-12 was the time. Power play goal. Gradine scored earlier at 8:28. Power play goal. 2-1 Vancouver. 5:40 left in the period. Pearson. The Islanders now having to fight back to get into the game. They're down a goal and they clear it up to the line. It's stopped and Miner played it back to center ice. Coming in. Fraser dropped into the line and there was Big Gillies racing away. Gillies going in with Sutter. Brent Sutter back to Gillies. His shot is blocked by Lindgren. Back out to center Fraser. In with Gradine. Good move by Fraser to Gradine. Gradine was covered and can't shoot it. Launch him in all over it. Now Brent Sutter played it up to the line at center ice. Here comes Dwayne Sutter shooting it in, and Gillies stopped, can't get a shot away. It's centered back all the way to the blue line and out over to center ice. Fraser coming in. Fraser dropped it. Steal in front of the net. Great chance for Gradine. He tried to tip it by Billy Smith. Bourne for New York. They're all over him. The Canucks in court checking now. Fraser against Lonzovic. Out to the line. Brent Sutter comes to center with Dwayne. A long shot stopped by Brodeur. It's centered. Brodeur had a notion to come out, but the Canucks were back there to clear it. Gradine, stick handles to center. Moline, Fraser with him. The pass dropped behind, and it's grabbed by Potvin. Potvin to Bourne. Bourne coming in for New York. Bourne into the corner. He's covered by Hallward. Snaps is there also. 4 minutes left in the period. 2-1 Vancouver. Laying on the body again in the corner. Puck is held there, and there's going to be a charging penalty. Handed out.
Boy, there could be very easily a couple of penalties called on this play with elbows of Trottier high and Fraser the charge.
Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
Kurt Fraser of the Canucks is in the penalty box. He reacted to when Brian Trottier threw this elbow at Thomas Gradine. Now, Trottier was not penalized on the play. You'll see Fraser come in anytime right now as they played the puck along the boards, and he gets a charging penalty right there.
Bourne slides into the side of the net. Potvin, the blue line, stopped it for Bourne. Bourne takes a look back. On the other side, Pearson gets it to Potvin. Hit the crossbar, I think, and bounced back down in front. Potvin drilled it. Potvin again to Bourne. Bourne gets set. Now the shot. Deflected wide of the net. Bossy tried to center it. Power play Islanders, and they're all over the Canucks. Another shot. Picked out by Brodeur. Back of the net. Cleared to the corner by Moline. He can't move it out, though. Potvin again. Slides the pass to the left side. Pearson. Pearson back to Potvin. Take the shot. Pearson to Bourne. And he was stopped by Bossy. And that's dropped by Snap. They can't get it outside the line. Dumped in by Potvin. He passed it off to Pearson to Potvin again. Back to Pearson. Didn't shoot. Another draw by Bossy.
Mike Bossy, what can you say? Mickey, the Islanders seem to get a break on that penalty situation. An important situation for them, and they took advantage of it.
Well, I'll tell you what I can say, Dick. It's unbelievable that he gets this shot on the net where he wants it. You see the Islanders quite a bit use Potvin back at the point, but they slide that puck back to him straight back, and he walks straight into it. And this time he took the sideways pass from Pearson right there. He's not only going to get it on his stick, but it's coming that it should go by him. He tees it up perfectly and blows it right back behind Brodeur. Just incredible that it all went so tic-tac-toe like. It's amazing.
So another power play goal. The game is tied 2-2. We've got a problem with a lot of whatever it is, having been thrown on the ice in the New York zone. So, Bob, we got a bit of a break here.
Well, it looks like a bunch of paper-type material been sent down from the upper deck here. They do throw that stuff around this building quite frequently. I've never seen any of it really get onto the ice. But that stuff could be awfully dangerous if they don't find every bit piece of it, because players, of course, could step on it when they're in full gear and lose all balance.
On tonight's Hockey Legends, we visit a man who built a dynamo.
Well, when it comes to Stanley Cup playoff time, there is no one who is more fitting to be featured on a Hockey Legends part of our show than Sam Pollock. That's coming up in our second intermission. Mickey, this is the kind of a thing that the team that has just scored, in this case the home team, and it usually is the home team, they kind of don't like to get that momentum taken away from them. But, as we mentioned earlier in this period, this has been a Vancouver period. After being outshot by a wide margin in the first period, the Canucks had taken the game away from the Islanders, gone ahead. That penalty was costly.
No question about it, Dick. It's been Vancouver's period all the way. Billy Smith making several important stops against the Canucks. The Canucks with a couple of breakaways. But I think there's no question about it. You said it earlier. The Islanders got a break with this penalty being called on Fraser. I don't think there's much question that there very easily could have been a penalty called on Brian Trottier as well as Kurt Fraser. But it wasn't seen that way, and the Islanders a chance on that devastating power play that they have, and they cash in again.
Penalties, we felt, would play a big part in the hockey game. Already, 3 goals have been scored, not really as a result of penalties, as Carroll's goal in the first period was a shorthanded effort. But Gradin and Bolderev, power play goals. Bossy scoring here to tie it at 2 at 17:06, and now only 2:46 remaining in the second period.
Well, that was Mike Bossy's 14th goal in the playoffs, and when you talk about Conn Smythe candidates, we've heard a lot about Roger, Billy Smith. How about Mike Bossy?
Well, it's hard to overlook him the way he guns them out there. It'll be an interesting voting this year. Brodeur has played excellently. But when a guy puts the puck in the net as consistently as Bossy does, it's almost impossible to overlook him.
Score tied at 2, and a face-off to the left of Billy Smith. And this game, Mickey, has been fairly even, right through. Even though the Islanders had the greater number of shots in that first period. Here come the Canucks again. It's lobbed in front, a chance for Delorme. He took a shot, and that was blocked by Janssen in front of the net. Mary coming to center. Coming in on the left side, Trottier. Nystrom in the slot. Goes to Mary. Mary got it in front. Nystrom was dropped to the ice. And it's Vancouver coming right back. Bolderev picking his way through. He nearly went in that time. Got it back to Rhoda. Rhoda centered it. Delorme spun around and couldn't shoot it. Delorme fired it in for Rhoda. Rhoda tried to hook it over behind the net. Still looking for it. But Tonelli will bring it out. 2 minutes left of the period. Tonelli straight down the left side. Stops. Now Nystrom. Shoots. That's blocked. And Hallward out to Bolderev. 1 man to beat this time. Rhoda coming in on the play. And Billy Smith comes sliding out. And there's a penalty coming up against Janssen of the New York Islanders.
And again, the Canucks get a power play chance late in the period. This one coming with 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining here in the second period.
And once again, Billy Smith takes a heck of a belt. Although not meant to be on Darcy Rhoda's part. He was going for that open puck. He had a breakaway, and Janssen really hooked him down from the backside. There you see the collision right there. When this series is over, these goaltenders will be glad they've got 3.5 months off.
Okay, Bolderev is again tonight making some super moves as he moves in on that Islander defense.
Well, he's so shifty, Dick. He's very fluid on his skates out there. You never know which way he's going. You've definitely got to play the man with Ivan Bolderev. You look at the puck, and he'll turn you inside out.
So 1:47 left of the period. Power play again for Vancouver. Gradin got the draws. Field gets it back to the line. Hallward tried to get in position for a shot, but now he might. Hallward lets it go. It's tipped by Fraser, but wide. Fraser getting in front of the net. There's Gradine with Fraser behind the goal. Gradine gets it out to the side. Back to Hallward. Over on the other side again in front. Field. Stopped by Goring. Now Hallward again. Tried to set it up for Smeal. Dropped it back the other way. There's the shot. Knocked down in front. Lane fell. The puck was there. Now it's loose again. Finally, the referee, Ron Wicks, calls it. Trottier pushing with Gradine, and then somebody came in and gave Trottier quite a jolt.
Now we're going to get penalties called here after that exchange, and they are still going at it. Mickey, there was a lot of hammering going on around the goal crease area. You mentioned it earlier in the game how tough it's been in that part of the rink on both ends, and it was that situation again.
Well, you know what happened, I think, here, Dick, is the puck got underneath Billy Smith and came loose into the crease area. Gradine was in the crease but couldn't get into it. It was in his feet, and that's when Trottier came in and gave him a shot, which you're supposed to do, get him out of there. But the stick's a little bit high again. It looks like Trottier and Smeal.
Now, look at this. That's...
Boy, oh boy, Kurt Fraser just took a whack at Gordy Lane. They're on the way to the box. I didn't see what happened, Dick.
But how about the aftermath there? Now, there is another penalty being assessed here. That one could cost the Canucks.
Was it a stick, Dick? I didn't see it.
I was watching the monitor, and it looked to me like a fist. It looked to me like he swung his fist as for a punch.
Lane and Fraser were going at each other down to the right of Billy Smith. They were jawing back and forth, being kept apart, and all of a sudden, right over near the Vancouver part of the penalty box, Fraser took a punch at Gordy Lane, and I'm sure he'll pay for that. Here's the two of them right now, right in the middle of the screen. There's how it starts. Little heave-ho by Lane, a slash by Fraser. And watch this action in front of the net now. Potvin in front with Lupul, it looks like.
Well, that's still Fraser, I think, right there.
There's a Fraser out on the right side, right there, loose, the pile up there.
Here we go now.
Watch this puck slip through the backside. You won't see it, but you may see it on this angle.
Oh,
there it is, right there. And you see Trottier now coming in with Gradine right there. And that little extracurricular activity, Smeal, and away they go again.
Butch Goring was the guy who came in and made the defensive save, I thought, right there.
Trottier of the Islanders, 2 for roughing. Lane of the Islanders, 10-minute misconduct. All at 18:49.
Bob, you got all that to recap?
I'm wondering if you had it there. Trottier got the roughing call. Lane, a misconduct. Smeal roughing, and Fraser roughing, plus that 10-minute misconduct. All at 18:49.
Well, instead of the Canucks being on a power play now, both teams will play 3 skaters aside. 1:24 left in the penalty to Janssen of the Islanders. And 2 minutes each. Trottier, Smeal, and Fraser. 1:11 left in the period.
So they'll play 4 aside, I guess. I don't know. I get so confused on the overlapping penalties. Let's just wait and see how it's all sorted out. The Islanders, they have only 1 player out on the ice, and that's Denny Potvin, and there he is talking with Ron Wicks. Everybody else at the Islanders bench.
Well, they sent Fraser and Gord Lane to the respective dressing rooms.
Mickey, while we have an opportunity, they're sorting this out. We have a moment or two. Vancouver has obviously succeeded at something this year. They've come from nowhere, let's face it, and based on a system. We've heard the word system so much. It's gotten them right through to the Stanley Cup Final, and they're right up to their necks in an upset right here over the New York Islanders.
Well, Bob, I think they play tremendous concentration in their own zone. That's the big part of their system, in their own end. Whenever they're in trouble, they dump the puck up the ice. They ice it if they have to. They never try to beat a man one-on-one, and seldom do they ever throw the puck up the middle. They did it the other night, unfortunately, for Harold Sneps, and they got burnt by it. But usually it's moved up the boards, and it's a very conservative type system back in your own zone. You can't argue with it because they're winning with it.
That's right. They've come so far.
Well, all of this coming with 1:11 remaining in the second period here in Game 2 in New York and Long Island. Game 3 Thursday night in Vancouver. A 7 o'clock local time start in Vancouver. Television-wise, Eastern Daylight, 10 o'clock. That's Thursday night, Game 3. in the Stanley Cup Final.
I was going to say that Roger Nielsen, talking to Roger the other day, said, Roger, you don't look too excited about all this. Here you are in the final, and you look rather subdued. He said, well, look at it this way, Bob. We're underdogs every game we play. So let's not be surprised. We'll just plod along and do our work and see where we get. And got pretty far.
And they know exactly what they're doing. It's very, very well-disciplined hockey club.
1:05 left in the second period. And Bredin on the boards. Lost it, Morrow back to the net. A minute left in the second period now. The score tied at 2. And it's Butch Goring starting out for the New York Islanders. A lot of room out there to move now. Goring, a good move. Goring up over the line. Gets in position. Goring gets it back to Potvin. Great save by Boozer. Goring picking it up on the rebound. Goring near the line. To Potvin again. 35 seconds left in the period. Goring got in front, trying to deflect that shot from Morrow. Now the Canucks have an opportunity. The three of them come down. Lindgren dropped it back. And now in is Bredin. Bredin got right in. Played it back of the net. Smith was out. Rebound. He scored. Beautiful play by Bredin. And you talk about cool.
Boy, I'll tell you, that is textbook hockey, Mickey. Bredin making all the moves, and finally Lindgren coming in, a Swedish connection connecting, and the Canucks take the lead.
Well, you know what he had, Dick? He had the Islanders' defense standing up, and he had a full head of steam on, and he caught Kenny Morrow and Potvin, was able to burst around them, and the perfect setup to Lindgren in front of the net. But what a play by Bredin. Unbelievable. You see Morrow standing still. He's not backing up, and Bredin has a chance to go around him. He tries to jam it in almost there. Spots Lindgren, and bingo, we got a 3-2 hockey game. 18 seconds left in the second period.
How about the move Smith made?
But you know, Mick, Bredin was so cool when he went back to the net. Smith was out. He wondered, how can I possibly get out in front and jam it in? The net was empty. But he waited. Waited and then set it up beautifully in front. Dandy pass for Lindgren as the horn goes and time runs out in this second period, and the Canucks battle back again and take a lead.
Well, a big goal with just 18 seconds left in the period. Again, Bredin, a masterful job. And Lindgren moves in to score the goal on goaltender Denny Potvin.
Isn't that the way it always happens? The Islanders almost scored. Canucks taking the lead.
And that goal coming at 19:42. So the score at the end of the second period, Vancouver 3, the New York Islanders 2.
Four goals in the second period, the first three on the power play. Gradin and Boulder for Vancouver, Bossy for the Islanders, and then the tiebreaker to put Vancouver in front by a goal, Lars Lindgren in the final minute of the first period. Well, penalties are proving very important in this series in terms of power play goals, and in the case of the Islanders, goal in the first period, shorthanded goals. And when talking of special teams, Bob Bourne is the perfect Islander to speak to the subject because he kills penalties and he also plays on the power play. I would have thought that with so many goals being scored with a man in the penalty box for either side, that the Islanders would get a big advantage. It hasn't been happening because the Canucks have been scoring on the power play as well.
Yes, they have, Dave. We're a little bit disappointed in our penalty killing. You know, we had a real good percentage against the Rangers in the quarterfinals. Not so good against Quebec, but we shut them down when we had to, and we've got to start doing it against Vancouver.
You know, they say that the second Stanley Cup's tougher to win than the first. In your case, it really wasn't that way. What about the third?
It's been tough. You know, of course, the Pittsburgh series really scared us, and I think it took a lot out of us. It's been tough all the way through. You know, Quebec, it was a pretty good series, too. It was a tough series, but even though we did win in the fourth, it's been scary.
Is this team showing you things that perhaps you didn't expect, or maybe strength in certain areas that you weren't quite prepared for?
Well, I really didn't think they had the power play, as we were talking before. You know, with Quebec, we really worked on their power play, and we shut that down, but Vancouver's power play is really proving to be something that we hadn't reckoned for.
Well, in the regular season, it wasn't very good. Let's face it, but the coaches have done some things. There's a different coach behind the bench now. You remember Roger Nielsen, of course, from 1978, and you don't remember him too fondly, and you've been quoted at some length about the way the Islanders must prepare to prevent a recurrence of that upset.
Yeah, he's kind of been a thorn in my side. I mean, he only coached that 1 year against us, but he beat us in a fashion that I didn't really think was the right way to play the game. And tonight's a little better game than the first game, but I mean, he's obviously a good coach. He's doing what he has to do to win out there with the players he has, and I guess you have to admire that, but I still don't like the way to play the game that way.
earlier in these playoffs, I talked about to Brian Trottier about the various left wingers he and Mike Bossy have played with, and now you're the one, and he said all three of you have done a marvelous job, but I assume you like it this way, don't you?
I prefer it this way, especially during the playoffs. I get to play an awful lot. During the regular season, John Tonelli and Clark were playing so darn well, it just seemed to me that I didn't get a lot of ice time with them, and I mean, I'm in there all the time now, and I really like it that way.
Well, you're the second leading goal scorer in the playoffs, and being second to Mike Bossy is almost like being first anywhere else, so keep it going.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Bob Bourne of the New York Islanders, whose great play set up the first goal of this game. The Islanders have added one since, but the Canucks had three in that second period, and coming up next, Bobby Orr's Hockey Legends with tonight's guest, the former general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, Sam Pollock. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment. Bobby Orr's Hockey Legends will continue as this Stanley Cup Final progresses. On our next installment, the featured guest is Phil Esposito, of course, Bobby's longtime teammate in Boston. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
For the Stanley Cup 1982, the Vancouver Canucks. 1982, the Vancouver Canucks lead the New York Islanders 3-2 as we get set to start the third period. In the second, Redin, a power play goal for Vancouver to tie it at 1. Then Boldarev, a power play goal, and the Canucks were in front. Then Bossy scored while the Islanders had a man advantage. And then Lindgren at 1942, and it's 3-2 Vancouver.
Well, we look ahead tonight to the Coliseum in Vancouver. What a spot that will be. A 7 o'clock start local time in Vancouver, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Game 3 as this series switches from the Atlantic to the Pacific.
Gradine, Lindgren, and Sneps are on for Vancouver. Bourne, Potvin, and Pearson for the New York Islanders. That's Potvin picking it up from the draw at center with Pearson inside the New York line. Back to the captain, Potvin. Bourne starting to move. Johnson gets ready to come on. He's on now. For New York, Potvin played it into Pearson. Back to Potvin. Bourne is in front of the slot. Can't handle it. Now he gives it to Bossy. Back to Bourne. Bourne gets set. Pearson closing in to Bourne. Bourne.
Well, Mickey, I don't know. As they go nuts here at the Nassau Coliseum, the moral of the story continues to be don't take penalties.
Well, you got it, Dick. Bourne wasting no time burying this shot behind Richard Brodeur. The power play again. Most effective for the Islanders. Tremendous puck control. The way they moved it around him. Bourne with a sweeping motion beats Brodeur on the ice on the stick side. And the Canucks have learned it already. They cannot afford to take penalties on the Islanders. They're just devastating with that man advantage.
Number 22, Mike Bossy. Time to go, 32
So at 32 seconds in this third period, the power play goal by Bourne. It's tied 3-3.
So once again, a brand new ball game, tied at 3. And that didn't take very long. Bob Bourne, low shot to the stick side of Brodeur. Bourne goes off, Gillies on with Brent Sutter. Morrow and Potvin. Hallward and Sneps for Vancouver. And up front, Miner. Along with Williams. Coming in as Sutter. Into the corner, Hallward. Over him. Miner takes it back to the net for Vancouver. It starts out. Miner dropped it back. Hallward having some difficulty. come up with it. Sutter got it in front.
From the younger brother, Brent Sutter, and the Islanders quickly take the lead. Well, that's a Sutter play without any question about it. Let's watch again. When that puck comes back to Dwayne Sutter, he sees some open room here. Watch, Brodeur really caught way over to the right of his net. Again, let's focus here in on Brodeur. Watch how much room he gives Sutter. He's really, well, from that angle, you can't really tell, but I think Brodeur was kind of hugging the post a little bit too much, but certainly an excellent shot by Dwayne Sutter, and again, on a pass from his brother.
Wade is the man with the beard who's being tapped on the head. He got the goal. Brent Sutter and Potvin the assist at 1:19. 2 goals in 47 seconds for the Islanders to take the lead at 4-3. And the Canucks are quickly behind. Here is Langevin for New York, flipping one to center ice. Knocking it down is Tonelli. Tonelli now to Nystrom. That's broken up, and back comes Thomas Gradin. Here's Gradin, flipping it around in the boards. Hit the side of the net, and Langevin comes up with it. Held in by Vancouver. Smeal in the slot, can't get a shot. Now Lindgren a drive, and Smith got his arm on that. Here's Gradin. Back of the net, but knocked down by Persson as the 2 Swedish players, one from Vancouver and one from New York, both fall to the ice.
The way that Gradin fell there, Dan, I think that he's hurt, and it looked like he hyperextended his shoulder. I'm not sure whether that's the case, but we see him down right here.
In the second period was just a classic, and it's obvious from the look of concern on the faces of the Vancouver players and Coach Roger Nielsen that Gradin's loss would be a big blow. Mentioning that Stanley Cup luncheon, it's Saturday at the Hotel Vancouver. Players from both teams will be there, the entire teams. So will Chico Resch, winner of the Masterton Trophy, and Tom Watt, the Coach of the Year in the NHL. They will receive their awards. It's at 12:30, and tickets, $50 for the public, can be obtained at the Canuck offices during regular business hours and available in the lobby of the hotel on Friday. And also in the lobby of the Hotel Vancouver will be the Stanley Cup, which was won by the Vancouver Millionaires back in 1915. Well, a turn of events here as the Canucks try to become the second Vancouver team to win it. There you see the score, and the Islanders with 2 quick ones early in this third period.
And they played 1 minute and 56 seconds of the third. So very suddenly, the Islanders only tied, but get the go-ahead goal. And Potvin looking for more. Potvin spun around by Lindgren. Moxie falls. And the Canucks dump it up to center ice. Ball knocked it down. Played it backhand. Then he fell. Vancouver led by Williams. Lobbed it a high one in for Miner. Going in. Miner shoots good. Oh, Miner allowed to walk in there, and he let one fly that fooled Billy Smith. And again, it's tied at 4.
Mickey, he's been a bit of an unsung hero, I think, so far in the 2 games. He had a good game. You mentioned it late in the game on Saturday night. Here he is tying the game.
Well, he splits the Islanders' defense again, Dick, right between Morrow and Potvin. Rips a shot that Billy Smith probably should have had from 45 feet out, but he just went down on the play, got a piece of it, and it slid right underneath his left pad. But Terry Miner has played sensationally for Roger Nielsen defensively, and here coming up big offensively for him in game 2.
2:27, the time of the goal. Vancouver tying it again. Here's Hahn. Now to Goring. Goring played it out, and Nystrom is going down with Tonelli on the play. Nystrom shooting it in. Here comes Tonelli. It's gone to the line. A long shot blocked by Brodeur. And Langevin let one fly. Now Smeal coming out. Smeal for Vancouver. Up to center. Backhands it in over the line. Pearson with Tonelli and Nystrom. This is Nystrom coming in on the left wing this time. He was bumped on the boards by Bellin. Bellin staying with the New York Islanders. They battle for it. It's knocked loose as Bolderev got it out. Now to center Smeal. Now to Bolderev. couldn't handle the pass. And now Roda is bumped. At center ice, they lob it back inside the New York line. Goring, he lobs it against Roda. Roda goes back to the net, centered it. And Bolderev was covered too well. Here's snubbed to the line. A penalty coming up against the New York Islanders. Bellin took a shot. And that was just wide. Nystrom missed it. Now he has it over there along the boards for Pearson. And a penalty call. From the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, this is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
Islanders penalty number.
Nystrom in the box, off for cross-checking at 3:43. Joining Gord Lane, who's sitting on a misconduct, as is Kurt Fraser. Mickey, here it is.
Well, the stick up very high by Nystrom on Bolderev down in the corner. There's no question about that penalty. Ron Wicks, I must say, Dick, is really with conviction making these penalty calls. He's right there, no fooling around. Bingo, you're gone, and let's get off this ice and no more fooling around. He's definitely had total control of this hockey game.
Vancouver's had 2 power play goals in this game. The Islanders, of course, have also scored twice on enjoying a man advantage, and they've had a short-handed goal, so anything can happen in this one. It's tied at 4. Face-off deep in the New York zone. Vancouver, the man advantage. Bolderev thrown out of the face-off, and Smeal comes in. Bourne for New York. There's the draw, knocked to the line. And it'll come out. Bourne from center ice, tried to find Pache. He's onside. They'll bring it back to the New York side of center.
There's some heavy hitting there a moment ago, Mickey. One of the heaviest hits was suffered by linesman Gerard Gauthier, who really hit the ice with a tremendous crash. He's still flexing his left leg, it appears. There he is, but they are a hardy bunch there, you see. Testing the ankle, the foot. He went down very heavily.
Well, Dick, we've seen probably some harder hits during the season in the NHL, but I don't think I've seen hockey games where there's been so many continual heavy hits going on here as we've seen in these first 2 games. Incredible the body work that's going on both sides.
Nystrom has 1:51 remaining in his penalty. And the Canucks with the man advantage chop it in. Back is Morrow for New York. He cleared in the length of the ice, and the Canucks have to come back to organize. That's Moline landing it up. Here they come. Moline nearly lost it right in front of Bourne. Now he gets another chance. Picks his way to center. It's broken up. Cleared ahead by Keller. Keller will kill some time. He was checked along the board. Now the Canucks will bring it in. Up over the line goes Bolderev. Threw it in behind the net. Carroll went back. Again, Bolderev takes a look. Out front is Bellin. Bolderev still waiting. Billy Smith is down in the net. Apparently, Billy Smith did something there, and Williams jumped all over him.
Boy, oh boy. Totally away from the play, Dick. The only thing I saw was Williams on top of Billy Smith. His stick right in the stomach area. And I was watching the puck back at the point on the power play and not paying any attention. All of a sudden, there's the melee with Smith on the bottom, Williams on top of him.
All right, we'll take a look at it here, possibly. I'm like you, Mickey. I was following the flow of the play. Now, here we go.
Here's Williams.
All right.
There you see
All right,
slash.
there it is. Smith started it.
There's the slash and a little stick by Williams back to Billy Smith.
All right.
You saw the chop on the ankles by Smith to start it off, and Williams jabbed him with his stick, and away they went.
Mickey, you know, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast about Billy Smith. I guess maybe it was just a matter of time before he went into his act.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
Tiger Williams gets 4 minutes worth of penalties. A minor for roughing, a minor for slashing, and Billy Smith of New York gets a minor penalty, 2 minutes for slashing. Now, Nielsen doesn't like the call, I'm sure. The Canucks upset. Here it is. Watch Smith with the slash across the ankles when Williams has his back turned to him. Williams retaliates, jumps on Smith. Potvin tries to help out, and the penalties ensue. You know, I'm wondering two goals that have been scored on him, Nicky, one at the end of the second period, as they say, he went swimming. He was head first. And then he seemed to be down on the ice and had made his move before Miner's shot. He is not playing with his customary poise.
Well, he isn't, Dick, but I really believe that the Canucks have definitely got Billy Smith off his game. There's no question about that. They're pestering him every opportunity they get, as are the Islanders to Richard Brodeur. I don't think either goaltender played exceptionally well in Game 1, but I mean, Smith tonight, by the same token, has made some super stops out there, but they definitely got him thinking about other things other than stopping the puck. Here's a look at some action moments before that, with Taggart going in head first, Moline, Keller for the Islanders. That's the kind of action that's been going on since minute 1.
So the score tied at 4, and more penalties as Bolderev played it on the boards to the line. There's Bolderev again. Back to Moline a second time. He's manned on the shot, and Trottier just calmly got rid of it down the ice. Moline out of his own net, hits the line, up on Goring. Moline going in, trying to shoot it, but he was covered. They get it back to him. Moline fell. The Vancouver Canucks looking around for somebody open. Moline trying to hit Bolderev and missed him with the pass. Potvin fell. Here's Moline closing in. High drive, and Billy Smith grabbed that one. They're not taking any chances now. Steele is right in on top of Smith, and he had an eye over his right shoulder. He had an eye over his right shoulder.
But so do their jury for those two.
Moline rambling into that slot area, Potvin dumping it out from about 30 feet, and he just ripped one. Smith really stood his ground here, Dick, unlike on the Miner goal. Look at Gradine there, Bolderev there, Smith coming in. And fortunately for the Islanders, Billy Smith did not give a rebound, but courageous play to stand in front of a guy walking in like that from 30 feet. And he rips it, and Prittner takes your head off.
You know, after being beaten for those two quick goals early in this period, that goal by Miner put the Canucks back on the track. They've shown me something. They've regained their poise, and again, although they're on the power play now, they have been taking the game to New York.
The face-off, Langevin, bumped by Steele. Lindgren coming in from the line, but he couldn't keep it in. And it slides back inside the Vancouver line. 4-4 nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period, and Bolderev on the move again. Lindgren takes it back. Lindgren gets set to play it back to the line. Goes to the other way. And Bolderev manned on that shot. He was open, had the near side, but he didn't hit the puck. Barely held a break again. Dropped it back. Now coming out. Lindgren played it to center ice. Bolderev shoots. And Smith blocked that. Langevin played it behind the net. The Islanders, Pearson gets it ahead to Bourne. He's speeding away. Bourne going in. Keller behind him. Bourne all the way to the corner. Now bumped. Keller trying to get it back to Langevin. The Canucks can't move it out. Rhoda was dumped by Langevin. Pearson back to his own line. Langevin with him. The other way for Keller. Keller's coming to center. Stops. Now gets it ahead. Pearson going in. Circles again with it. Pearson killing some time. Now Carroll back on for New York. Out of the penalty box. Here's Bossy. Makes it deflected out to center ice. Coming back in, Trottier. Rolled it into Gilly. Out of the net was Brodeur. Good move. And he got rid of it to center then. Trottier brings it in again to Gilly. Back to Trottier. Into Bossy. Bossy couldn't shoot. Bossy got it back. Bossy again gets in position. Rolled into the side of the net. Trottier is covered. Lindgren fell. Got back up again. Now Janssen winds up. Potvin got his pass. Janssen again. Wide rebound. Good. Rebound was there. So was Trottier. And the Islanders take the lead again.
Now here it is. Trottier from a sharp angle.
Well, again, that Islanders power play. The Vancouver team playing a very close four-man box on this power play and trying to keep the Islanders on the outside. As a result, nobody was there. to pick the puck off the backboard on the shot from the point. There's Trottier. Look at this. The Vancouver team all in tight, and Brodeur valiantly trying to get that shot with his trapper, but Trottier picked it in the top of the net over top of Richard Brodeur.
Mickey, it's ironic that Brodeur was down and out of position on a shot that missed the net. He didn't have to make the stop, as it turned out, and he was right out of position for Trottier's 6th of the playoffs. 5-4, New York.
7:18, the time of that goal.
Your attention,
Trottier from Johnson and Potvin, and yet another power play goal for New York.
To security.
This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. Brodeur and Smith poised with 12:31 remaining in regulation time, and the Islanders leading by a goal. It's been seesaw all evening, these two teams. Allward pumped by Gillies. The Canucks move in after it, and the Islanders bring it out just as quickly. Gillies gets it down. Dwayne Sutter to Gillies. Took a quick shot. It hit Hallward before it got to Brodeur, and the goaltender held it.
A lot of people have been talking about Clark Gillies in this series. He's been rather quiet. He has been a factor, Mickey, I think, on New York power plays, the way he has stood his ground in front of the Vancouver net as we get some pushing and shoving now as they get back into that kind of a routine. A couple of big guys shoulder to shoulder, Gillies and Harold Snips.
No question Gillies causes problems in front of that opposition net. You're 6'3" and 215 pounds. It's got to cause somebody some problems. Here's a look at Gillies running into Hallward up at center ice area. He definitely uses that body every chance he gets. But he just gets out there, even in regular shifts, gets in front of the net, especially effective on the power play when he can almost tie up a couple of guys in front of that opposition goal. And Gillies now again with Tiger Williams out in front of Richard Brodeur. The meeting of the clan again.
Teams have played 7:47 here in this third period. 5-4, New York winning it. Well, there is what the hockey, before we talk about hockey in the future, put that for a uniform. All right, Bob, back to business.
12:13 remaining in regulation time. 5-4, the New York Islanders over the Vancouver Canucks. Brent Sutter with Dwayne to his right. Gets the draw to the corner, went after it. Miner fired it the other way. Comes in by Morrow. That's Brent Sutter. Got it in front of Gillies. And a quick shot stopped by Brodeur. Miner turning. Coming out for Vancouver. He got to the line neatly, played it to Snuts in center, and then took a long shot. Smith, the 6th save. Now Moline went after it. He holds it on the boards along with Sutter. Again, they call the play.
That goal by Brian Trottier, which has given the Islanders the lead. His first point of the night, but he's had quite a playoff year. He has a total of 20 assists. He reached that mark on Saturday night in Game 1. That surpassed Bobby Orr's Stanley Cup record. So Trottier has put himself in the book as we get some rather vigorous pushing and shoving over there now.
Look out.
And hang on. The Tiger.
Dick, it started with Dwayne Sutter and Harold Snips, and they're still going back and forth. Then Gillies stepped in again. I think it was Smeel. Is he out there? He gave him a little shove, or Jerry Miner. All I could see was the 2 on the uniform. Gave Gillies a little shove. Maybe it was Tiger Williams. They're having a few words out there.
Well, I suppose Gillies and Williams.
If you had to think of anybody out there with a 2 on it that's shoving, I think it's going to be the Tiger, wouldn't you? Penalties coming again.
With the score, Islanders 5, Vancouver 4. This is Stanley Cup 82 on CBC.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Well, we have misconduct penalties now handed out to Dwayne Sutter of the New York Islanders and Harold Snips of the Vancouver Canucks. At 8:15, they have drawn 10-minute misconduct penalties. So Ron Wicks deciding that's what he's going to hand out in that situation, and I guess, Mick, that's the old misconducts for talking to one another. And Al Arbor was pretty cool behind the bench. I can recall in his earlier coaching career, Al was rather vociferous toward the referees. In this series, and certainly through the Quebec series, he has hardly looked sideways at the men in the striped shirts.
Well, Al, over the last 3 years, and Roger Nielsen really are both on the quiet side as coaches. I think very much the thinkers behind that bench, or behind their benches, respectively.
From the face-off, it comes back to the line, and the Islanders clear it out. That's Gradine back on for the Canucks. Lindgren lost it right in front, and Bourne came close. They're giving the Islanders a 2-goal spread. Nearing the 9-minute mark of the third now. The Canucks shoot it in. Gradine slapped it in behind the net. Spiel in the corner. Spiel trying to dig it out. By Pearson, he couldn't. Now Trottier for New York. Bounced it off the leg to center ice. Hammered back in by Campbell. Back of the net, Langevin for New York Islanders. Langevin left it there. Pearson against Williams. And he got rid of it rather quickly with Williams charging in. Coming in is Bourne again. Bourne breaking for the net. He's hit around the goal for New York. Out front, Bossy! And Bossy can't shoot it. Hit the back of the net as he tried to center it. Campbell played it over on the right side. Potvin stopped it. Got it in front of Bourne. And Trottier stopped the rush by the Vancouver Canucks. They move it center ice. This is Gradine coming in. Gradine trying to go all the way. And couldn't get a shot. Now Rhoda. Nystrom bumped him. Rhoda and Nystrom on the boards. And they get a whistle for a face-off. And the New York zone, Mickey, is getting hot and heavy out there.
Oh, I'll tell you, they're really going at it down there. That time, Brian Trottier and Smeal going at it at center ice, and both look like a wrestling match, Dick. They wrestled each other to the ice. Hometown fans here. Here's the confrontation of moments ago that didn't happen. Taggart goes in. He's going to take a run here, and he decides against it. I tell you, he has really kept his temper pretty well under control in this series, Dick. He's not taken any bad penalties at all. And a lot of times in the playoffs, Dave Williams has not put his team as shorthanded at all. He's taken guys with him to the penalty box. So very smart thinking on Dave Taggart Williams' side.
4-0 for New York to Nystrom. Mary coming out on the play with Goring. That's Goring. Pass too high. At the line, Mary got it in front, and Goring gets a chance shot. And Brodeur was right there, standing up, cutting the angle a bit. And he made the save. Made it look easy, but a pretty good shot by Goring.
You know, Dick, I mentioned that about Williams, because a lot of people look at the box score and they'll say, gee, Taggart Williams takes a lot of penalties. But if you notice, he doesn't put his team in a shorthanded position very often.
It's taking people with him.
Exactly.
Another look at the chance for Butch Goring. Brodeur standing up and making the save. But we're getting into this third period situation here, Mickey, we had on Saturday night. A lot of holding. Smeal tackled Trottier. That really drew a rise from the crowd. But Butch is calling a few more penalties. He's trying to hang on to this hockey game.
10 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in regulation time. 5-4 the New York Islanders. I'm Bob Cole with Mickey Redmond and Dick Irvin at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Islanders up a game on an overtime win. Game 1. And as time ticks on, look at Nystrom. Roll in there with a hard check. He hit Hallward. And here's Goring coming in. Goring to Nystrom. To Goring. They tried to make that one a little bit too pretty. Goring didn't know that pass would come back. He thought he had Nystrom home free.
Boy, that was a strange play. Hallward broke his stick. He went to the bench, never did get a new stick, ended up turning around and getting back into the play without one, but it gave the Islanders some room, Mick.
Well, Goring with that good burst of speed caught Hallward. Dougie, when he went to the bench, thought that his team had total control, which they did at center ice. They gave it up, and Goring, with his good skating, almost created his 6th Islander goal. But Hallward, at the last minute, got rushed back into the play to try to cover it up.
Well, we saw Nystrom take a run at Hallward here. I think this is the play in which Hallward broke his stick right there.
I mean, Nystrom broke it for him.
I'll say.
Boy.
Now Ready for the face-off to the left of Brodeur. Brent Sutter has to leave along with Lupul. Gillies comes on. Lupul, Crawford into Lorm. Out there for Vancouver. Lindgren puts it back to the net. Bellin is on with him. Sutter is bumped. Keller racing over. Look out, here comes Gillies. He went in after Crawford. Didn't miss him by much. And DeLorme to center. Rising shot on the glass. Back to the net. Potvin. Potvin got rid of it in the corner. Now the Canucks try to do some forechecking. They keep it inside the line. Potvin has it at the side of the net. He's foul. Sutter comes in. That's Brent Sutter trying to move it out. Lupul got a shot away. It hit Potvin. Just missed. Now Lupul ran into Sutter. Canucks get set again. They keep it in. Lindgren took a shot. It's deflected. And I'll tell you, bodies are flying every which way.
And Gillies in the middle of it, and he's been more in the middle of things, Mickey, in this third period than he has in any of the playoff games that we have covered.
It sure has. He just belted Mark Crawford to the ice, and DeLorme coming in very quickly to his aid, and Gillies just standing back, but he's really using that body. He went flying down into the corner moments ago and threw a crossbody at one of the Canucks.
Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Clark Gillies in the penalty box here at the Nassau Coliseum. 8 minutes and 43 seconds remain in regulation time. 5-4. Islanders leading Vancouver. A roughing penalty has been called on Clark Gillies.
Gillies and the Islanders, 2 for roughing at 11:17.
Now, we mentioned about Gillies being in the middle of it. This is one of the times.
The crossbody he threw down in the corner on Lindgren, it looks like. Or Moline, I should say, number 26. Maybe it was Crawford.
I think so, Mick.
Well, I'll tell you, emotions are running high on the ice. It will continue that way, and then some, I'm sure, in Vancouver Thursday night, on and off the ice. And our telecast crew that will bring the action to viewers from coast to coast will be Jim Robson with the play-by-play, with Gary Dornhofer and Howie Meeker with them in the box, and Steve Armitage hosting the show. Thursday night, 7 o'clock start in Vancouver, 10 o'clock Eastern time for Game 3.
Let me get a set of glasses, Bob, so I can see those numbers out there. I'll tell you.
Gets kind of tough once in a while, isn't it?
Tough all the time for me.
Back to the blue line. Vancouver trying to tie this hockey game now. Into the side it goes to Smale. Back to Hallward. Here to Moline. Moline flipped it off Potvin stick. Moline gets back to the line in position again. There he is. Moline fired one.
Hold it. We're going to penalties.
He's coming up in front of Billy Smith. Williams, I think, right in front of the crease, and will be going again along with an Islander.
I think Smith is going to get called as well. They had an exchange. Wicks was watching it, so was I. It wasn't as bad or as vicious as the last time, but watch it here now. And the instant it happened, Wicks called the penalty. Now, watch this.
Morrow and
it's right here now. Watch this. There, number 1, Smith.
Dangerous.
And he got
very dangerous.
Wasn't that something?
Boy.
And Tiger Williams gets the penalty, and really, I don't know why.
That butt end of that stick, if it ever catches him in the face, irreparable damage. But that seems to be the rule to the hour down there, and if you're going to play, let's get at it. They're both doing it. They're both being penaltied off, Dick, if we might put it that way.
Well, this doesn't change the numerical strength on the ice with the coincident minors when one team's already playing shorthanded. Gillies in the box, and he still has a minute 42 left to serve. Thomas, oh, wait a minute. Smith has received the penalty now. They just added that. I'm sorry if I missed that first announcement. Thomas Janssen serving it.
But you know, Dick and Mickey, this is the style of goaltending Billy Smith has been known for. If you're near that crease, he will no doubt move you out. But Tiger Williams has challenged him like I have never seen him challenged before. He's right in on top of him, Mick. And after after that altercation a little while ago, I thought he had Smith quieted down, and he was okay. But they're going back at it again.
Smith is going to come back and challenge Taggart to stand in front of that net. And Dave just goes right back to his position, parks in front of that net, and he takes his life in his hands with a goal stick. He's not in the crease, so he's really not impeding the area. There's the jab with the stick right there, and Taggart still has not retaliated. He's just standing there trying to screen the goalie on the power play, and he's a little concerned about why am I going, but Taggart sometimes can go on reputation alone.
And that situation right there is a perfect example of why they put in a rule that is known in hockey as the Billy Smith rule, with the extra tape at the top of the goal sticks.
He had the 4 or 5 inches there, I recall, last year. Taped down a bit.
Well, sometimes when Taggart's in front of that net in practice, they just figure that he's in the middle of it and he gets tagged with the penalty regardless.
8:13 remaining in regulation time. 5-4 the score. The center. Fired in by Mellon. Off the board. Fraser looks for it now. And again, they hold it. Get a whistle. Face off with the New York Dog.
I don't think Billy Smith won't be in for a bit of a hot time Thursday night when he skates out onto the ice in Vancouver.
As will the rest of the Islanders, I'm sure. Good shot by Stan Spiel with the body to Trottier, and Trottier, one of the more sturdy hockey players, only 5'10", but 195 pounds. And he likes that physical going as well, Dick.
Got a share tonight, that's for sure. These two teams going right at each other. The Islanders up a game in the series, but the Canucks dearly love to get even before they go back home. And this is Bredin picking his way in for Vancouver. Bredin with Fraser in the corner, trying to dig it out. Fraser slapped at it. Comes to Moline up the blue line. On the far side, Hallward knocked it down into the corner again. Fraser back to the net. Morrow stopped him. Now Spiel goes over. Spiel gets the pass back to the line. Hallward kept it into Spiel. Spiel being watched by Bourne. Along the blue line. Here's Miners firing into the side of the net. Scramble for it. Smith is down. And it's clear back to the corner. Still in there. Moline. A pass to the far side. Hallward shot. Stopped by Smith. Fraser back to the net. Gets it loose. Trying to jam it in. But Smith covered up on the post. Vancouver, great pressure. Spiel gets set. Spiel can't shoot it. Or can he? No. Back to the line. Moline makes the shot. Has to throw it out to the side. Vancouver all over the place. Spiel lost it eventually. And the Islanders two of them break out. Keller and Bourne. Bourne going in. And he got a back by Keller. Great action here with 6:30 left in regulation time. And the Canucks trying desperately to tie it. Big Gillies dropped it. Rhoda stole it. Lost it then. Langevin up to center ice. Langevin stopped by McDonald and rolled in behind the Vancouver net. Here comes Nystrom. Nystrom around the goal. Tried to jam it in and put Kennelly got loose. Kennelly bumped back in the net. Still looks for it. Kennelly crashed into his own man and went behind the goal again. Here Barrett had bumped. Now Kennelly trying to shake off that check by Rhoda. Nystrom closing in. Trying to hit the short side and missed it, but not by much. Nystrom again. Good. Did you ever see such action inside the New York line first, and then inside the Vancouver line, and the Islanders come up with a goal?
Now, Dick, almost a replay of the Dwayne Sutter goal. Same place, same shot. Nystrom, I don't think, knew it was in either. The Islanders just tremendous pressure. There's a look. Brodeur has no idea where that one was, and the other one coming up right now by Nystrom, right there. He's screened on the play, can't see it, and just catches the top left corner.
Well, again, they cause the traffic in front of the net. Off the post and in. How many of those goals have we seen in this series?
Just unreal. The body work that was going on down behind Brodeur. The Islanders with puck control. Vancouver grabbing a hold of them, trying to get them slowed down, get possession. Lindgren had a shot at it, couldn't get it out. Finally, the shot got through a bunch of bodies, and a 6-4 Islander lead.
Nystrom's score from Tonelli and Merrick at 14-10. And the 2-goal spread looks mighty large now for the New York Islanders. Vancouver trying to get it going now. That's Lupul going in. Looking up the shot by Pearson. Pearson turning in his own zone. Got away from DeLorme. But had his pass stopped at center. Shot went right in on Billy Smith. He blocked it. And Langevin got rid of it. Hallward back in his own zone. Laid it over there to Campbell to Lupul. Lupul shoots it in. Langevin from the corner. Just moved it up on the left wing boards, and Trottier is coming in. Yes, Bossy. Shot! Low shot. Didn't miss by much. Now Bossy. And he drilled a high one. Way off the net. DeLorme coming out. DeLorme for Vancouver. Down with Elderbrink. He cleared it in over the line into the corner, and Bossy was all the way back. 4:35 remaining in the third period. Johnson left it for Cower. To Morrow. Morrow back to Cower. He missed on a great play for Gerdine. Going right in. Oh, what a move. And Billy Smith got the stick out. And the puck just trickled behind the net. Gerdine, though, made a heck of a move. But he came up empty. 4:15 left in regulation time. Vancouver fighting back, but now Goring and Gillies go in. Gillies! Shot deflected just wide on the short side. Brings her back out. Steele knifes it down the ice and rolls into Billy Smith. Lane turning. Coming out. Lane to center. Long shot. No problem for Brodeur. Elderbrink up on the board. The Canucks now. Time running out on it. McDonald coming in. Took a shot wide. He went in after the rebound, but Billy Smith diving back. Hangs on to it. Live from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC.
They're doing something here at the Coliseum that the Canucks don't like. They put 2 Stanley Cups up on the electric board, and a portion of a third brings a big cheer from the crowd. All part of the hype. There will be lots of hype Thursday in Vancouver.
A little bit edgy before they drop it in. Now it comes back near the line. And Campbell barely keeps it in on the far side. Now Goring left it for Lane. Coming down with Trottier trailing. Lane shot. Bullet shot right at Brodeur. They made the pass save. 3:20 left in regulation time. The Canucks down a couple. And here they come. Hallward shot. Shot not too strong, just wide. Brent Sutter played it behind the net where Rhoda was waiting. He got it in front. But right there, Potvin, and he galloped away to center. Pass behind Merrick. He'll be offside if he touches it. But the Canucks bring it out, so the play continues to center Boldurev. Boldurev going in. Moved around Langevin. Centered it. It was deflected over the glass, into the crowd, and now 2:49 remaining in regulation time. It's 6-4. The New York Islanders leading.
Well, I don't think there's any question the Canucks have provided much more opposition for the Islanders than a lot of people thought they would. Either one of these hockey games just could have gone either way. The overtime in Game 1, and here tonight, the Islanders in the third period have only jumped out to the lead now, but Vancouver has played equally as well, and just as well could be ahead.
Well, 2-goal lead's a rarity in this series. I think I've seen the Islanders on 6 straight games that had more intensity here tonight than in the other 5, but it's been tough.
Here's Lindgren's shot. That was blocked in front. Nystrom fell. And Trottier will clear it with 2:35 left in regulation time. Merrick is in now. Merrick nearly went through, but he was stopped by Bellin. Here comes Nystrom. And he ran into Lindgren. Canelli covered at the line. Launch of it, let her go. That's stopped by Brodeur. 2:15 remaining in regulation time. Moline flipped it out. Miner is down. Miner fakes his shot. Jams on the brakes. Miner rolled it into the side of the net. Williams is out there again. Williams trying to grab at it. Can't find it. And Hallward has to come back, and Tonelli is coming in looking for him. There's Hallward, and there's Tonelli. Hallward trying to get away. Upended. Hallward was upended by Tonelli and Trottier. And Tonelli brings it in. Tonelli stops to Trottier. In the slot he goes. Potvin. And it was poked away by Smeal. 1:35 left in regulation time. The Islanders just trying to control play now. And here's Bossy. Bossy going in. Bossy shooting. And down goes Brodeur. He looked behind him, but he held on to it. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York.
This dandelion has just been fed easy-to-apply Killax.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks have called a timeout as Roger Nielsen gathers his team around him. 1:26 left in regulation time. The Islanders lead this game 6-4. By reaching the finals, the Canucks continue to hope to be the first team in 33 years to win the Stanley Cup after playing under 500 during the regular season. The last time that happened, the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1949 was Howie Meeker. Remember that team? I guess he was. They finished 4th in the 6-team NHL at that time. Well, the Canucks putting up a pretty good show right here. In the two tough games that they have had, and I can tell you that ex-NHLer Mickey Redmond, sitting between Bob Cole and me, is just continually shaking his head at the physical aspect of these hockey games. And especially here tonight, Mickey, they have not let up through until late here in the third period.
Well, Dick, as we talked about, both teams doing it. It's just incredible, the energy it takes out of an individual to play this type of hockey game. Both clubs really banging. There was a big difference between Game 1 and Game 2. As far as the physical activity that went on, I don't know that you could use your body any more than both these hockey teams have done tonight.
1-0 at the end of one period when Carroll got a shorthanded goal for the Islanders. It was 3-2 Vancouver after 2 periods. Gradin, Bolderev, and Lindgren. And Bossy scored for New York. And here in the third. Right now, with 1:26 left, Islanders 6 and the Vancouver Canucks 4. Here's a drive right off the bat of the faceoff, and it was drilled high. Hallward flipped it behind the goal. 1:15 remaining, and the Canucks just shoot at the center. Pearson turning with Goring shooting it back in. Hallward going in there. Gillies in center look for it, but the Canucks get it up to center. Missing the pass with Gradin, the goaltender Brodeur, leaving the net to have the extra man on. Only 55 seconds left. Goring nearly had a break at the empty net. Bolderev shooting it in. Langevin knocked it down. Played it a little too high near the New York Islanders bench. And they'll have a face-off again in the New York zone. Here's Brodeur.
Yeah, Roger Nielsen electing to pull them out even with 2 goals. It makes no difference if they lose by 3 or by 2 or by 1. A loss is a loss, so Nielsen trying to get back in this hockey game, throwing the 6 skaters out there now over the Islander line. Face-off coming in the middle of the ice. 45 seconds left in regulation time.
Bolderev rather with Gradin, Smeal, Moline. Eldebrink has gone to the bench. Hallward is on for Vancouver, and so is Kurt Fraser.
And the roar going up, Bob, as the organist here plays "We Are the Champions" once again. And the crowd loves it.
Bolderev got the draw. Morrow hammered at it. It goes down the ice. It'll be icing unless Trottier gets back for he does. So the play goes right on. Good hustle by Trottier. 30 seconds left. The Canucks stop near center. Smeal got rid of it to Hallward. Hallward shoots it in. Now the Canucks will move in after it. They have the extra man on. 20 seconds left. And a 2-goal lead. Insurmountable at this stage. Shouldn't say that, I suppose, but the way the Islanders have been playing, they're pretty cool. They know now, only 17 seconds left. They won't make any mistakes.
Well, I think really think, Dick and Bob, that the Vancouver Canucks have really shown everybody something in these first two games. They're not coming in here thinking they're not as good as the Islanders and there's no chance to win. They are here to win. And as we talked about, Dick, before Game 1, it wouldn't surprise me at all. The Vancouver Canucks, it hasn't surprised me the way they've played. They're going to go home, regroup, and try to pull out their home ice advantage and come back into New York next week with a two-game tie.
Well, I think we will be back here. I'll be surprised if we are not next Tuesday night. Really. I'll be surprised if we're not here for Game 5. The way this Vancouver team is playing, they get there in front of the home crowd out in Vancouver. I think they're going to play even better than we've seen them here in these two games.
I've been telling you that all along, Dick.
I know, Bob. I always just follow what you tell me. You were my boyhood idol. How can I do otherwise?
15 seconds left. And back goes Moline. Conche watching him. That'll be it. 8 seconds left. A long shot down the ice. Icing waved off. Billy Smith, appropriately, will be the last player to touch it. And the game is over. And the defending Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders have taken a 2-game lead as they get ready to charter into Toronto tonight and fly out to Vancouver tomorrow. Final score here, Islanders 6 and the Canucks 4, but this series, Richard, is far from over.
Well, as the Islanders file into their dressing room, they know they have been in a hockey game, a tough hockey game, and it will be equally as tough 48 hours from now in Vancouver.
The shots total, New York Islanders out shooting the Canucks 36-30. In the third period, it was New York 12 and Vancouver 10. So that's it. A final score 6-4 New York. This is Stanley.
Petro-Canada. The Islanders used a big third period in which they outscored Vancouver 4-1 to take a 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 Stanley Cup final. 2 of those third period goals came on the power play. The Islanders now have 6 in 2 games. And the first star of the game was the man who set up the very first Islander goal and then scored the one that started the third period onslaught. Bob Bourne. Thomas Gradin was magnificent for Vancouver, and he is star number 2. Bob Nystrom scored the insurance goal for the Islanders and was ever valuable in such a tough game. Game number 3 as this series promises to remain close and tough and perhaps swing a bit in Vancouver's favor at home will be played on Thursday night, and that is 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time and 7 o'clock in Vancouver. We bid you good night after Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final in Long Island.
On weekday mornings on The Ed Allen Show. Tuesday, May 11th. Tonight, on the National, the Falklands War. Britain attacks another Argentine ship and claims control of the channel. Canada's economy, lower bank profits, and more gloomy predictions. And on the Journal, the Argentine-German nuclear connection. After World War II, Nazi experts helped the Argentine buildup. Is German expertise now helping Argentina build an atomic bomb?